Billy Talent.
He's afraid of heights.
Between their third album, which was just called Billy Talent 3, and
Billy Talent 3 sounds like a SNES game, bro.
I know, right?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ethan, and joining me, as always, are my good friends, Kyle.
Hey.
And Hunter. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
Okay, then. And let's just say today's been a crazy week for music, hasn't it, guys? That's crazy. Wow.
Oh, dude, it's been nutty. Hunter, there was such a long pause there. I thought you forgot about our bit.
I did forget the bit.
Oh my
I definitely forgot the bit because I was like, am I lagging out? Is that over? It's like, usually I'd fix that in post, but now I feel like we need the awkward pause in there. Like, oh gosh, I did not enjoy that. I did not like that. Dead air in the first 5 seconds of the podcast is genuinely terrifying. But no, welcome back to the show, everybody. Happy April.
That's the joke episode.
Yeah, you know, but yeah. Welcome back to, I guess I should have said the HMO podcast. My apologies, I got the name of the podcast wrong, dude.
Where it can still work. Hot Grooves Only.
Oh, okay, yeah, true. There we go. Hot Grooves Only, the show where we come together to talk about everything we love about the world of music, everybody. We're here on Mondays at around 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern on podcast services, and slightly later on youtube.com/hotgamersonly. We need to get that name changed, really. That's a weird one. It's a bit of a discrepancy. I've only thought about that just now. That's weird. Oh well, we'll fix it at some point in the near future. So yeah, you know, it's a bit of a quiet week, so we thought that we would talk about our favourite albums. Why not? We're at the bottom of the barrel, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. We're digging deep, okay? To be fair, I'm quite proud of us. We got this far without branching out, and this is it. We're branching out. So we've done.
It's been in the chamber as a joke episode for like 3 years.
It has.
We've literally been sitting on an April Fool's episode for years.
We have. Well, we've been sitting on many. I'm still waiting for that sponsorship from one specific company, which I will not name until we get it one day. I have had that bit for 5 years, damn it. But you know, we'll see whatever happens. But yeah, we've had this idea for a while, and we thought that it'd be fun. Hey, why not roast each other for our terrible takes in music? You hear us talk about our terrible takes in games every week. Why not a bit of music so you can completely judge us? This might be, we're hoping
more people can bid Ethan's DMs about his opinions.
Yeah, please do. Princess Peach fans really loved last week's episode, so if you love my music taste, please find a way to contact me. That'll be great. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. And hey, if this goes well, if you guys like this kind of jokey episode, maybe we'll do more of these as a non-joke in the future. There are plenty of avenues. We do more than just play video games, so we can talk about other things, films, TV shows, who knows. We can talk about stuff. So let us know if you enjoy it. It's the return of the 3x3s, ladies and gentlemen, but in a way you never truly expected. So we've each got a 3x3. These are all albums that we either really like, we really liked. Like, it's the same way, like, have we done an episode before where it was like the games that inspired us? I feel like we've, like, the games that, like, made us. I feel like we've done that episode at some point.
I feel like we've talked about them, but I don't know if it was 3x3 format.
A lot of times when we do, like, when we did the 3x3s for, like, favorite and then pick the console or whatever, it was kind of like what defined our experience with the console. I feel like this is a similar kind of
basically, but instead of defining a console generation, we're defining our life with music, I guess. If we get all artsy about it, which, you know, this is what music is, ladies and gentlemen. We're all going to have the most indie tastes of all times. I think this is going to be interesting, right? Because I was saying this before we started, that when you look at our 3x3s, when you go, oh, what's everyone's favourite PS4 games that define the generation? And then you look at all of us and you go, who's the most basic person on this podcast? It's always me. I'm the most basic person on this podcast, because you'll see all the AAA...
Put every game from 2017 on his list.
Yeah, genuinely. And it was a great year, guys. Trust me, it was a great year.
It was a great year.
But then Hunter is usually kind of the person that is like, you least expect him. You like you don't like I'd have no idea that Hunter loved that game so much. Never mind that he played it, you know. Whereas I feel like we all know what Hunter's taste in music is. We all, even though he's never
If you pay
mentioned it on
attention
the
to my
show.
clothes,
Yeah.
you know,
So we'll
you
save
get an inkling.
we'll save Hunter till the end because we know that Hunter's music taste is very different to myself and Kyle, and he can try and convince us on his taste. And then in the meantime, we can talk about myself and Kyle's basic taste. I think mine is going to be interesting. So we'll start with me. We'll go to Kyle after that. Then we'll do Hunter. Timestamps below if you only care about one of us, you horrible person. We're just getting me out of the way, I guess, so all the bullying can start here, so that it's like, you know, save us the job, right? Save the scrolling. Get your hate out now, because I'm sure
You volunteered to go first.
I love the hate. What can I say? I get off on the hate. It's my favorite pastime is hating on
It's
myself.
what gets him out of bed every morning.
It is. I hate I'm just like, oh god, I really hope someone hates me for my Elden Ring impressions today. Let's just get up and find out.
It's
So
a
let's
powerful motivator.
so I'm ready when you guys are.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1. April Fool's, motherfucker. We're going to be talking about some video games on our music podcast. You see, we thought that it was easy. But now I had to include it. But I was like, you know, we're taking a week to not talk about video games. We'll talk about some video games in here. We'll get to it. Anyway, bit of an interesting pick. 2 of these are a bit interesting. Right, shall I read them?
Go
Yeah.
Cool. Two Door Cinema Club Tourist History is the first one. 1989, Taylor's version. I will make put a little asterisk
An
onto
asterisk.
that and say that it's the original that really linked with me, and that's the
Yeah.
one that I've listened to. But I don't want to get on the Swifties' bad side because my god, I've seen what everyone else is like. I don't need them against me. So
Yeah, you don't want that.
I put that there.
They're more feral than the Princess Peach fans.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Churches,
Possibly
Love is
even the
Dead.
Elden Ring fans.
Their third album. You'll see that I have a thing for third albums, actually. If you look at some of these, you'll find out. I don't remember what the order of Taylor Swift's albums are, Carl. I don't think 1980 is 1989 number 4? Or is it number 3?
That's number 5, I
5?
believe.
There you go.
Yeah.
1975, A Brief History into Online Relationships. Album number 3. Paramore, Brand New Eyes. You'll never guess what, guys. Album number 4. Right? Or 3? Is it 3? It's 3. It is 3.
It's 3,
Yeah, it's 3. I'm right. Persona 5 is not the third album in the Persona series. But
Oh
it
yeah,
is
it
to
is
some.
because the series starts at 3.
That's the third Persona game, dude.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's funny. Anyway, Lo-Fi
The
Girl.
Lo-Fi Girl?
We'll get to that in a second. No particular album, just we'll get to it. Dayglow Harmony House, which I do not think it's the second album from Dayglow. So there you go. Sorry guys, breaking the streak. And Ninja Sex Party. I'm trying to Cool Patrol.
Oh, that's
we'll get
what
to
this
that.
is. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
we'll get to that at the
how-
end. There's an interesting story behind that one. So that is what I class as 9 albums that define me. I don't know where you want to
All right.
start. There's some interesting ones and some obvious ones. I don't know where you want to start. I'll let you two pick.
I'm actually very curious about Brand New Eyes because I thought
Because it's
I
not
always
my
thought you didn't
favorite.
like this one.
Because it's not my favorite.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not the one. It's not the Paramore album I was expecting to see on
no,
here.
but here's the thing, right? Is we're talking about a music taste. I'm not necessarily picking my favorite Paramore album. If I was to pick my favorite Paramore album for all of you Paramore fans out there, it is usually a tie between Riot and After Laughter. Those are the two that
Yeah.
I usually go for.
That was one of the two I was expecting.
Yeah, and you're not. The reason why is I could have put Riot here, and the Riot cop out would have been it's my favorite Paramore album. I like it a lot, and also the first time I ever heard Paramore was Misery Business in Guitar Hero World Tour for the PlayStation 3, because that or the Nintendo Wii, wherever you played it, basic answer. But it's Brand New Eyes,
Yeah.
and the reason that it's the first album that I properly listened to when I started listening to Paramore. I started listening to Paramore in around late 2012, early 2013, before Self-Titled came out, so this was the latest album. And we all have a mutual friend called Sam, who used to do a lot of live streams, and he used to play Paramore in the background while he was doing whatever he was listening to, because it was the Wild Wild West back then, and you could literally do whatever you wanted. So I listened to
The
a
good
lot of
old days.
Paramore, and I always remember kind of mocking, not necessarily in a friendly way, not in a bully way or anything like that, but I used to mock some because I'm like, Paramore, that's for like, that's emo shit, right? When I think of Paramore, especially in 2011, 2012, I'm thinking of emo, scene kids, Twilight, kind of, that's where my mind went to, because they were a credits theme for Twilight at one point. I can't remember which film it was, but
Who cares?
who cares? And then the bits
Pretty
that I
sure
had
it was
heard
the
of
first
Mystery
one.
Business and all that jazz, I'm like, oh yeah, it's proper like scene emo kind of stuff, like whatever, tee hee hee. And
Yeah.
then I just started listening to it in my own time, because I'm like, damn, he's kind of got me hooked here on Brick by Boring Brick. It's like my favorite thing ever at the moment. I'm
Oh,
just going
that's
to
my
keep listening
favorite
to
one.
that. Yeah, it is. It's the best song on the album. I love that song. But then I just started listening to other songs like The Only Exception, right? And I'm just like, everything that, like, Brand New Eyes is just a vibe, and it is the album that got me into my favorite artist of all time. That's why it is on the list, right? I love Careful. Careful is like another one of my favorite songs from the album. Ignorance, Playing God. There's just so many good songs on that
Ignorance is a
album.
good one.
It's a lot of yeah. I spoilers. I have this one on my list as well.
Oh, you have a terrible
And
taste, dude. Let's roast.
dude,
Garbage taste.
same.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But it's just full of a bunch of. It's easily my favorite of their albums. I love every song on there. All I Wanted, the finale song, I think that's one of their absolute best.
Yeah. I love it. It's great. It's like, I always feel like I like every Paramore album. I think there's a place for every Paramore. I don't think they have a bad album. I really don't. Even This Is Why, their new album, even though it is probably, it's lower on my list probably than most of them, I still think there are so many. Like Crave is like one of my top 5 favorite Paramore songs of all time. That's the thing with Paramore, is even if they have an album that doesn't hit as much as the rest of them for you, it'll have one of your top 5s in it
There's
just
always
instantly,
something.
because it's like Crave is
Yeah.
like, I think it's actually my top 3 Paramore songs. Crave is. I absolutely adore Crave
Damn.
so much. Actually, no, top 4. Ooh, it's hard. Now I'm
Oh,
questioning
got
myself.
bumped down.
Well, it's like my 3 favorite Paramore songs.
Come back next week.
My my 4 favorite Paramore songs are Brick by Boring Brick from Brand New Eyes, When It Rains from Riot, which is probably my favorite Paramore song of all time.
Great one.
And then it is Pool from
Cool.
After Laughter,
Yep.
and it is Crave from This Is Why. So those are my 4 favorite songs, which are not necessarily, other than Brick by Boring Brick, which everyone is like, that song's flipping fantastic, right? Most of my picks that I usually pick are the underrated songs, just because I'm like, damn, these deserve more respect. Like, they're so damn good. Like, but no, Brand New Eyes is a great Paramore album. It's fantastic. It's
really
it's
is.
my 3rd favorite album probably, but it's what got me into it. And I guess I can't leave this section without thanking Sam for getting me into Paramore. I guess, you little nerd. But I do appreciate it, because they are genuinely my favorite band of all time, and one of the only bands that I have ever seen live. So there you go.
They're fantastic live. She has a really great energy.
Oh, I'd
stage.
recommend it. I am so jealous of anyone that's seen Taylor Swift in Europe, because they're the opening act. So it's like Paramore and Taylor Swift. I'm like, oh man, I wish I had the money to burn on something like that, but I do not have like $500 to spend on a concert. But if I did, that'd be the concert. But no, you should listen to Paramore if you haven't. They're fantastic.
You should.
Where do you want to go from here?
Ethan, tell me about Traverches.
Oh,
Famous for Death Stranding.
No, it was. I loved them before Death Stranding. Not gonna lie,
I know.
Church
Get
is
a little
writing a
hipster
song
over here.
for Death Stranding was like one of those things. It was like, I was gonna buy Death Stranding after I heard impressions and stuff like that, but it was on that checklist of pros and cons. It was like, one of your favorite bands has got a credit song for it, and I'm like, oh hell yeah. Not a unique
It's a
thing.
really
They've
good
done other
song, too.
songs for they've done other songs for games. They did a song for Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Fun fact.
That's the bad one though.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually. It's called Warning Call. It's very good. Good song.
I was speaking about the game, not the song. But yeah.
Oh, the game is not. The game is mid, but the song fantastic. We're not talking about games though. This is a
But
music
that credit
podcast.
song.
This is a music podcast. No, So I know Churches. I've known them since their first album, right? There's a very famous song, at least it was pretty famous in the UK, called "When Mother Was." When was that? Oh, why? Now I'm looking. Blah 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 blah.
Days
Uh,
when Mother was there. That was Persona
no,
5.
no, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
we're
The
not
Mother We
there yet.
Share. That's what I'm thinking of. The Mother We Share.
Ah,
Um, but it's a big song. I remember hearing it on the radio, and I'm like, oh, I like their vibe, and I never heard from them again. And then their second album came out, and I really liked their second album. And I was like, damn, I'm looking forward to their third album, because I kept hearing songs from it. It came out in 2018, before Death Stranding. There's your proof, Hunter. Um, but I kept hearing songs from it, and I was like, man, this sounds great. The first song, called Get Out, is fantastic. Um, and I was like, damn, it's one of those albums where this was really hard for me because I don't listen to albums. I'm not an album guy. I take a couple of songs from an album and go, I vibe with these, be gone everything else, and then I just
Hmm.
play them in my playlist. I'm not really an album listener. Whereas Love Is Dead is one of those few albums where I like every single song on the album, and I'm like, damn, I can
Nice.
I can just put that disc in if we're being old school and I don't have a disc for it, but metaphorically put that disc in
yeah.
and just listen to it front to back and don't have to worry about having to skip a song or not vibing with it. I love a lot of it. If you were asking me for my favorite songs, Miracle is probably my favorite. Graffiti is fantastic. Never Say Die. Those are my top 3 probably. Oh no, Forever. No, Forever. Forever. I forgot Forever was on it. Forever, then Miracle, then Graffiti, then Never Say Die. It's a fantastic album. I always recommend Churches. I feel like Churches are an easy listen. I don't think you're going to draw heads. I don't think you're going to be you're gonna stir anything by recommending Churches, because it's very it's indie pop essentially. Really, it's like indie synth pop. You're not going to offend anyone, I feel like, with Churches. I feel like if you vibe with Churches, you'll like Churches. If you don't, you're not going to hate them. You're just going to be like, it's not for me, and move on with your life. I feel like you'll be fine with Churches. But they're also in Death Stranding, so if you're a Hideo Kojima fan, I'm right, because it's like they're like Hideo Kojima's favorite band. They are like Hideo Kojima's favorite band. So when you know that Kojima is a bigger fan of an artist than you are, you know you're in the right place, dude. You're like, yes, I am. He simps for them more than I do. Like, genuinely, he loves them so much, and I love them. They're great. Lauren, the lead singer, has such a unique voice that I'm drawn to unique voices.
Cool voice.
I think I've said this before on the podcast in random scenarios, but I prefer female vocal artists when it comes to music. That's just a thing that I've always kind of drawn to, female voice work compared to. There's plenty of guy work on here, for example, but I've always drawn to that, to like female vocal performances more. And I don't know why, but I just always have. And Lauren's one of those voices which I'm just like, I cannot get sick. Like, also great live. Also fantastic from the bits of live performances I've seen, whether it's at the Game Awards or wherever have you. Fantastic.
Despite what Jeff Keighley's audio balancing at the time was like.
Yeah, man had the bass to 100 and the voice to like 10, but you can still tell from it that it's like,
It took him forever to get that right. Like, they haven't.
Some say in the years following it still wasn't fixed. Like
not like the next one, but I feel like the last time and the time before that were fine.
We're just going to have to hope that when they inevitably do the credit song for Death Stranding 2, because I think that's probably going to happen, that they do a better job at the Game Awards that year. That's all we're going to have to hope for.
I hope so. Oh, man. Death Stranding 2. I remember like a year ago, he posted a picture of, the Spotify thing that he does every now and then. It was Bring Me to Life. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this to be in Death Stranding 2.
No. It's good. You'll notice from this list, as I mentioned earlier, I like a lot of indie pop. That is kind of a place where, especially as I get older, that's kind of where I vibe more. Like modern, as modern pop kind of goes into one direction, I'm like, I like pop, but I don't jive with where it currently is. Like, I'm not that big of a fan of current day pop music, but I'm a massive fan of indie pop still. I love synth stuff. I'm a sucker for synth, dude. I'm a sucker for synth. What can I say?
Synth is fun.
Where are we going next?
Tell me about the lo-fi girl. What's she doing here? What's she studying?
Dude, I love lo-fi music. If you need to know one thing about me, is I love lo-fi music. For the past 8 years, I have been listening to Lo-Fi Girl the YouTube channel. Previously Chilled Cow, but you know, same brand. They rebranded like 5 years ago or something like that.
Mhm.
But like literally, like back in my uni days, back in my final year of high school slash high school slash college if you're in the UK, I needed stuff to revise to, and it's just I don't know
It's
if you're
literally
like
in the
me.
title.
If you're like me, thank you, Hunter. If you're like me and you find it really hard for your brain to switch off, like my brain just doesn't switch off. There's constantly a commentary rolling, whether I want it or not. It's really hard for my brain to switch off. So having something that is a background noise that isn't static, that is just like a chilled playlist, helped me during uni and during college. It helped me work. It helped me stay concentrated, and it calmed me down. The amount of I don't like being parasocial and giving like random bits of info out about my life, but I've had very bad anxiety, and so I got panic attacks. I got stuff like that. I overly stress about the most minute of things, and so having stuff like that in the background really helps me come back down and relax. And just even if I'm not necessarily listening to it like I would a regular album, even if it's just in the back, it's there, and it shuts that part of my brain down that just wants to keep talking over silence, and it just really helps. And I just like listening to it. If I'm ever bored, or if I'm ever just like I need background noise, I just go straight to their playlists on Apple Music or Spotify or YouTube or whatever, and just start cranking it, because they have like 6 bajillion playlists. If you like synthwave, they have a great synthwave radio now. If you like their lo-fi stuff, but you're like, I'd like to sleep to this, but it's a bit too in your face, they have a sleep playlist basically, which is just all of their calmer songs. They've got like literally for anybody like me who can't shut their brain off and just likes that background noise, they've got something for everybody there, and I just absolutely love that. They are probably the YouTube channel I have list. Like if you had like watch hours for YouTube channels, they would be the highest, and it wouldn't even be any close.
Imagine if YouTube started doing the yearly recap thing like PlayStation and
God.
Spotify.
Yeah, lo-fi and synthwave would genuinely, those two playlists would be like the top two on my YouTube rewind or whatever they would call it. But no, I love lo-fi music, and it's done a lot for my mental health, which is why it's on here. I really appreciate it. It's in similar ways. It's why I randomly like jazz music now. Is again, in the back of my brain, it just relaxes me. It calms me down. And for someone who gets stressed easily, it's great to have something like that that you know you can just turn on, and it will just it will help in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, for sure.
Who doesn't love a good saxophone solo?
Oh hell yeah, dude! Hell yeah. Where to
Dude,
next? Sorry,
lo-fi.
that was very
I was gonna
personal.
say, dude, lo-fi is super powerful. I listen to it at work all the time, and like you said, it really just helps with staying focused.
It really helps. Like if you are somebody that suffers from like hyperfixation or OCD or ADHD or anything similar to that, it really helps having something that can just turn that part of your brain off a little bit. It really
Especially
helps.
especially if you're the kind of person that can't work with silence,
Yeah.
but you don't want to listen to like songs with lyrics to distract you or anything like that.
Oh, yeah, I
Just
100%
throw
agree.
on the playlist and keep it on a low volume. Just have like a white noise going essentially.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, And it's like as we get into right now, I listen to a lot of game music because I don't have time to go and explore new music, and I've got bored of my current playlist. So I'm in that state where for the past 3 months, instead of making a new playlist, I've just been listening to game music and lo-fi. That's all I've been listening to because I just want to. I'm like,
Hell yeah.
I can always trust that, and it just goes into the background and it just lets me relax. So yeah, lo-fi is great. Big shout outs to Lo-Fi Girl. You've probably saved me countless breakdowns and stressful situations. You've saved me multiple times. I'm very appreciative of you and your team. They also make really cool animations and stuff like that. Like they just have this. They have the lore and all this stuff. Their merch is fantastic. Every time I see their merch, I'm like, damn. If I was in uni, I needed a journal and shit. I'd go straight there. No no promotion. But yeah, not sponsored. I wish. But yeah, I love lo-fi. It's fantastic. Where are we going? Sorry, that was very deep. That was very emotional.
Dude, that's what the music's for.
Tell me about the 1975.
Ooh, this is a fun one. Controversial take.
I like this one's artwork because it just looks like a little start of a paragraph in a Google Doc.
Controversial. I don't know if this is a controversial take, but it's like This is why I was doing like stuff that defines you, whatever, blah blah. Because I have not listened to the 1975 since this album. Their fourth album, I just did not like at all, and so I just haven't listened to them since really. Um, but you know, music tastes change, and the third album got me through COVID. Shall we talk about that little?
Oh boy.
Because here's the thing: Notes on a Conditional Form, which is their fourth album, came out during COVID, and I remember listening to it. I'm like, I don't vibe with this. I'm going back to the old album. So that's what I basically did, because I was like, oh, there are some songs where I do absolutely love one song from their fourth album. There's one song that I absolutely love. It's called Me and You Together song. So if you want to listen to that album, don't listen to that one. It's a very indie kind of I don't think either of you have seen the TV show, but there's a Netflix show called Sex Education. It has a very indie kind of playlist that goes with it. And it's like, it fits like into that kind of vibe. It reminds me of like that kind of vibe, and I really like it. But their other album, Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships, by the way, I assume if you're unaware of the 1975, they have very arbitrary album titles. Like, their first one was just
Like
the
Fall Out
1975. Yeah. Their second
Yeah.
album is genuinely called, and I quote, I like it when you sleep, for you are so beautiful yet so unaware of it. That's the full title of the album.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
A
the
brief
same
inquiry
for
into
all
online
these Fall Out Boy.
relationships, Notes on a Conditional Form, and their last album, which I haven't even heard, is Being Funny in a Foreign Language.
Damn.
Like I say, I just dropped off, but this album is like, I love the first three albums in the 1975. I think it's some great kind of indie pop, which I really appreciate. But there are so many good songs on this album, and I just, like I say, I just adore it so much. Like, It's Not Living If It's Not With You is one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite 1975 song. I
That
absolutely
is
love
a
it.
good one.
Give Yourself a Try.
Love
Two
It If We Made It.
Time. Love It If We Made It. Hell yeah, dude. Like, this is such a good album. I adore it. It's fantastic. I would take 5 of these albums instead of the other ones, but you know, it's great.
Yeah, I pulled a few songs out of this album for my own personal playlist. I haven't
yeah.
listened to it. Haven't listened to it in full yet, but Love It If We Made It and It's Not Living. Those are both really good.
Actually, I did lie. Album 4 does have one other good song. If you're too shy, let me know, obviously. That
Oh,
song
yeah.
got me through COVID, but it also made me appreciate, wow, I'm not a big fan of this album that much. Let's go back to albums 2 and 3, and album 3 I think is genuinely fantastic. But no, it's so good. Two Time I absolutely adore. It's Not Living. It's just 1975 got me through a time where I felt a bit rough, and I feel rough a lot of times in my life, but it's like, it was kind of that indie kind of despair punk kind of music where I was like, hell yeah, dude, I love this happy-go-lucky song that's just about doing drugs, like overdosing on drugs. That's fun. That's such a quirky, fun song. Right? So fun, so quirky. Like I say, I don't necessarily listen to the 1975 much anymore. I haven't done for like 3 or 4 years, but that 2016 to like 2020, I very much appreciated a lot of the music that they made, even if it was like one album that wasn't particularly fantastic. But you know, what can you do? But no, I don't know if I'd recommend them. But if you like, here's the thing: 1975. If you like the 1975 and you've heard a few songs, you've probably heard the ones that you'll like, because most of their singles are the ones that are worth picking out, if that makes sense. Like, some of
Yeah,
that other stuff isn't necessarily like,
they're not really an album band.
yeah, juxtapose it to Paramore, where I'm like, pick out all the non-singles there, you got some bangers there, take all them out, baby. And then 1975 is like, no, I think I will just cherry pick a lot of songs. They're good for cherry picking 1975, I feel. What's next?
All right, Ethan. Let's fight about Taylor Swift.
Oh, 1989 is her best album. It is. I'm not a huge fan of Taylor Swift. I like bits of Taylor Swift, right? Like, I pick and choose from her albums. Like, it's like, I am a, you know, teenager from the well, I was gonna say I'm a teenage girl from the the 2000s to 2010s, but it's like, you know, I'm a teenager in general. Fuck it, if you were a teenager and you didn't like Love Story by Taylor Swift, you're a fucking nerd. Getting the fuck out of my house. Get out. Not you, Hunter. You're
Oh,
different.
hi.
But
Sorry, Hunter.
Hunter, you can stay because you don't like pop music in general, really. But everyone else
That's
that liked
very
pop
true.
music that did not like Love Story, get out of my fucking house. You're a liar. You're a poser. You just didn't want to admit that you like Taylor Swift. Get out. But you know, I liked little pieces of Taylor Swift's music, but I never jammed with an album. And then 1989 came out, and 1989 came out in a very I like most of these came out in a very important time for me, where it was just before we were going to university. I was going around a lot of places, a lot of universities all around the country, all this stuff, the idea of moving away, all this kind of anxiety, like I say, that was building up. And just for some reason, the only album that my mum had in the car as we were going to all these places was 1989 by Taylor Swift. And we just listened to that over and over and over again. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not a fan of an artist, listening to an album 60 million times, you'll eventually conditionally turn yourself into a fan of that artist, whether you like it or not. But I think the reason is it's a fantastic album. I don't think there are any duds on this album. I think it's fantastic. I won't say that I am the most dedicated Taylor Swift fan. I wouldn't say that I'm sitting there listening to every album going, time for my analytical critique of where this ranks. Like, I can't do a Paramore where you're like, put your gun to my head, rank the Paramore albums. I'm like, okay, I can do that. This I couldn't. I look at these songs and I'm like, damn, what a banger soundtrack. Like, this is genuinely... There's a reason that 1989 comes up in so many conversations when you talk about Taylor Swift, because I feel like it's the perfect mix of this album being so good and the time that it came out was just like, it was just the explosion that if Taylor Swift wasn't big enough as it was, this album was just the final punch that she needed to just take over culture for a decade, I feel. It's just immense, dude. Welcome to You Know What, I love Blank Space. Style, Out of the Woods, fantastic.
Oh, God,
Shake It Off.
Space.
Hunter hates Blank Space, ladies and gentlemen. Wildest Dreams, I
Dude,
love.
like every year she came up with a new
felt
song that victimized me in some capacity.
Yeah. My favorite song, Clean. Again, random songs that I just love from albums. I'm just like, that's the one that I picked and apparently made my personality.
This is the hill I will die on.
Yeah, New Romantics. I love New Romantics as well from the deluxe
That's
edition.
a good one.
There are so many songs I love on this album. Like, I genuinely do like the entire album. And yeah.
Oh, for sure.
It's a special album again to me.
Like, I'm like you. I wouldn't go out of my way to rank all of her albums, but I would definitely say this is easy top 3.
Yeah, I really do, and I don't hate Taylor's new work. Actually, the stuff that I've heard from her new album, I actually like quite a bit. But there was like that middle ground after 1989. That was a couple of albums that were a bit of a. I was like, it feels like you put all the good ones in 1989 and then forgot to. You could have scattered them out a bit if the other albums were going to be that kind of. Don't want to say mediocre, but not as good as the first 3 or 4 that she released.
You can say mediocre. That's a fine word here.
Swifties, don't shoot me. He said it, not me. But yeah, I love 1989.
I'll take the DM bullet for you, Ethan.
Thanks, pal. Good luck with that. Swifties are vicious creatures. They will not leave you alone.
Joke's on them. I don't look at my Twitter DMs.
Oh, good. But no.
They'll be yelling at a brick wall.
I like 1989, and I've listened to most.
It's a very good album.
I've listened to the Taylor's version from most of them, and most of them are good. One of them isn't, but most of them are good. I'm not going to say which one isn't because I feel like people will shoot me. But one of them isn't as good as the old one.
Is it style?
I would never say such a thing.
I would.
Yeah, it's style. Style isn't as good as on the new one as it was on the old album. But all the other ones are fantastic. I don't know why that one came out in the mix wrong, but the rest of them, fantastic.
I don't think she's released a fixed version of that either.
No, probably not. It feels weird. The harmony at the end is just not on.
It doesn't.
But, yeah.
Something doesn't sound right about it.
It's the harmony. It's the backing vocals aren't done. They're not in the right.
Yeah.
Same zone, which is probably a creative choice. But I say that's a bad creative choice.
Bad choice.
Fight me. If it makes you feel any better, I like the new version of Clean more than the old one, and that's my favorite song. So there you go. Well done. That album wins. Anyway, not a huge Taylor Swift fan, but I like that album. It's good. It's good. I also am a big fan of Love Story. I'm a big simp. I like that song. It's a good song. Sorry, Hunter. I know that that one's probably also caused pain for you at some point in your life.
Oh yeah, there's been whatever ones hit the radio took turns.
Yeah, Hunter, where do you want to go next? You've been quiet. You've been a quiet little boy. Because you don't.
Two Door Cinema Club. They have a cool name.
Oh, yeah. Indie
I know
kind
one of their songs.
Yeah, what you know? Is it what
Probably.
you know? That's what I'm gonna do. Go and look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to know a fun fact? The only reason that they're on here.
Lay it on me.
My second ever YouTube channel. If you want to know, gamers, how many musicians should I say? Change that. This is the music podcast. I've had 1, 2, 3, 4 YouTube channels probably in my life. 4. I'll give you a 4 or 5. 4 or 5.
You and Sam are like tied.
The first, yeah, but here's the thing: is mine don't exist anymore not because nothing bad or anything like that, just because they're like me when I was super young, and I think that's cringe, and I don't like that being on the internet, so I just eradicated it all from the internet.
It's a sensible decision.
Got nothing to hide other than a cringe little squeaky boy whose voice didn't break until he was 16 years old.
Everyone wants to hide their personality when they were in middle school.
Yep.
If anything, my personality in middle school was probably better because I was like that kind of clean. I wasn't allowed to swear in my house or whatever, so I didn't swear or anything. I should look to my young self sometimes as like a model example of how to be now. Yeah. But anyway, like
words.
in 2010 or whatever,
words, Kyle.
In 2010 or 2011,
sure
there was a remix of What You Know, the song that everybody knows. It was like a remix of it, and I used it in a Minecraft speed building compilation. This is cringe. This is bully worthy. Trust me, I know. I was bullied. But this remix of this song just kind of became the theme of the channel for a long period of time. So I associate this album by, just because of like association of this album represents like me when I was like 11, 12 years old. I really liked that album. My favorite song for them isn't that one, actually. It's a song called Undercover Martin, which I really like. But again, they're like an indie pop band from like the 2010s. I feel like just saying that gives you the vibe of what they are. It's more of that kind of, again, it reminds me of my early YouTube days when I made cringe Minecraft videos that will never see the light of day, unfortunately, because they're all gone. I can't even recover them if I wanted to. Yeah, I made the stupider decision of deleting everything instead of setting it to private, so it's just all gone, which I'm kind of sad about because I'm like, oh, even if I should have kept it on private just so I could at least look at it myself, even if I didn't want to release any of it, but alas. But yeah, it just reminds me of old times, YouTube times. Back when I listened to music, it was more of, I like happy, upbeat stuff instead of being all down and gloomy, and I like songs that make me think. But hey, pretty simple one, really. More there for the memories. I'm not a massive Two Door Cinema Club fan, by the way. I do like that album, though. But again, I've not listened to their discography after it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Owl City, dude. I like 2 Owl City songs. One of them because I was 10 years old. The other one because I heard it after realizing that Owl City still makes music. And I'm like, it's not bad. Those 2 songs are Fireflies and Fiji Water for those who are big Owl City fans out there.
Fiji Water.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I've never even heard of that second one.
It's a banger. Yeah, it just showed up on my Spotify one day. I'm like, Owl City still exists? That's crazy.
Huh.
Sorry for the slip. I forgot to mute mic.
Right. Good, man.
What's next?
Well,
we got 3 left. Oh, we got the corner.
Old stuff.
Yeah.
Ninja Sex Party is a name I have not heard in a very long time.
Neither have I. I don't know. Have I ever mentioned that I'm a huge fan of comedy? Well, I was a huge fan of comedy music. I I always struggled when I was younger. Like, people were always massive fans of music or whatever. And literally, music was the one until I was like 12, 13, 14 years old, until Paramore and all that jazz was the one kind of art form that I didn't understand. Why did people listen to music so much? I'd listen to whatever was on the radio and think it was fine, but
Mm.
it never really hit me, or it never really personally attached to me in a way where I'm like, oh, I want to do this. It was always kind of the art form that I looked away from, which is funny now considering it, because it's probably one of the bigger ones in my life now, and I fucked off film and TV in the process. Um,
Worthy sacrifices.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I love comedy music, whether it is obviously the OG Weird Al, dude. Like, I love
Yeah.
Weird Al. He is fantastic. The Backstreet Boys cover eBay instead of I Want It That Way
Yeah.
is like pinnacle of my 10-year-old self's comedy. Like, I adored that song.
Canadian idiot.
Yeah, like I adored it. And one of these artists that I found when I was doing this, not even associated with Great Game Grumps, because I was never really a Game Grumps person, was I came across Ninja Sex Party, and as a 14-year-old, I was like, this is the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. I love this. Because their songs are so absurd and stupid. And then there's their album Cool Patrol, which is the one that's on this list. And for a long time, I was like, damn, I just think, like, I thought that this was 2018, right? I was like, whatever, 2018. I'm like, this is something that I thought was cool in 2018. And now I look back on it and I'm like, I don't really listen to it as much anymore. Like, I don't really listen to comedy music. I'm not, like, again, another artist that after Cool Patrol, I haven't really heard anything since, really. I think part of it was due to, like, 4 years or so there was a controversy that ended up being nothing, but like that kind of whenever, you know what the internet's like in the past
Yeah.
5 years. Sometimes there's a really terrible thing that happens. Sometimes there's a terrible thing that happened that didn't, or the story's different and it was completely, whatever happened. I'm not clued up, but they're still going, and as far as I'm aware, it was all nothing really. It was a nothing burger.
Mm.
So I just moved, but I just, like, I never really listened to them again. But in the past year or so, I go back to that album and I'm like, no, that isn't just my 20-year-old self thinking this is funny. And it genuinely is a fantastic album where I'm like, it's not just funny because, haha, they made some funny jokes in this terrible music. It's like one of those, it's like that weird, it's like that Weird Al moment where it's like, not only is it stupid lyrics, but it's made in a way that it's really high quality, and it's like the music is just good. Like, it's good music. And this isn't even parody. I'm just like, there are so many songs on this album where I'm like, nah, these still are funny. I really like this album. I think it is their best album that they did. Looking on the internet, it seems to be that this is still the opinion, is that Cool Patrol is their best album that they've ever done. But there are so many funny songs on this album, and comedy music isn't for everybody. I know that. This is probably the album on this list that definitely is not for everyone. It's not for many of you, to be honest, unless you're really into comedy music and you're like, dick jokes are funny every now and again. I'm like, well, have I got an album for you, buddy? But I think it is genuinely a fantastic album. Like, I genuinely love so many of these songs. Cool Patrol, which is named after the album, fantastic song. Danny Don't You Know is a fantastic kind of classic kind of rock kind of solo piece, like, like the heart pulling, like, kind of heartstring kind of song, just about
power ballad.
Like the ballad.
Power ballad.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hunter. Thank you. See, you're useful for the first hour in some way. There you go. Thank you. Brilliant.
Way to be useful, Hunter.
So this is the closest that Hunter's getting with my taste to what he's like, what he listens to. So it's like, they make they make comedy rock music.
I like Paramore. I just don't listen to them intently.
True. But it's that perfect balance of coming up with a stupid idea. And I can just imagine, and I love this about the creative process in general, is coming up with a stupid idea and then turning it from that's stupid to, oh, we can make this work, like,
yeah.
Like, they come up with I just imagine them sitting at a whiteboard and just throwing shit at the wall, just seeing eating food in the shower. What about that? Like, yeah, we could make a song out of that. And they do, and it's a bit of a banger. It's like, it's an absolute banger. I love that song. It's fantastic. Or Danny Don't You Know, this power ballad of going back to your former self and saying, actually, you're cool as fuck on the inside, dude. Like, stuff like that. It's like my favorite lyric is, you're cool as fuck on the inside. It's just like, I love that. It's like, it's great. I love that. First Date is a fantastic is a fantastic song about going on a first date, but that first date just being them doing a hit and run robbery at a museum. It's just like stuff like that is just goofy. Another one, like my favorite song from Ninja Sex Pie, really funny song called Heart Boner, which is like, again, a power ballad about falling in love with somebody, and it's calling, instead of saying that you're falling in love, just I've got a heart boner for you, which is like, that's just so dumb, but I love it. It's so funny. I'd 100% recommend, if you ever get to listen to NSP, listen to that album. It's fantastic. They've got some cool covers and stuff of actual songs as well if you want to listen to that, but I think it's fantastic. I love comedy music, and I think that NSP at times has so many. Fucking 6969 is like a 9-minute like anthology, like sci-fi space adventure in a song. It's like, it's fantastic. And so many of them have music videos that are so stupid and absurd, and like, it's like perfect 1980s rock music where it's got that quality to it, where everything's on sets and it all looks shit, and it's I love it. I'd highly recommend it. If you're into comedy music, give it a shout. It's a lot of fun. Again, random picks of things from my history, but I love that early work. It's fun. If you're into comedy music, it's a lot of fun. I have a signed copy of that album. I did buy that album when it came out.
Oh my god.
Which is nice. I should have brought it. It's in my car. I should have brought it, but I don't know why it's in my car. I've not used the CD player in my car for like 5 years, but it's there. I have it. Along with all the Paramore albums.
Spotify?
I do have it on Spotify. I own it on Apple Music as well. I think it's like my only purchased. I could like go into my Apple Music real quick, and I could probably go to my library, and it's probably in here somewhere. If I scroll down to
I was going to say, if it's not on Spotify, it makes sense to have the album.
Yeah,
in
look, it's
car.
right there. Cool Patrol.
Hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
So there you go, I guess. Fantastic. We got 2 more?
2 more.
Yeah.
Let's go then. Do we need to talk about Persona 5?
I mean, I was going to ask for Harmony House first, but all right.
Well, the reason I just want to get Persona out of the way, because we talk about that so much shit on this, but like,
I think we all know why it's there.
It's it's like my favorite video game album of all time. I think it's fantastic. People always have these conversations of, is video game music real music? Yes, it is. It's fantastic.
Yes,
Shut the fuck up, you stupid.
It's better than most of what you're listening to, you clowns.
But no, I said it 6 million times on this podcast. I'll probably say it 6 million more. I have been meaning to make a YouTube video at some point in my life about Persona 5, about how much that game means to me. I quite literally believe that game saved my life in many ways, and not in a clickbait YouTubey kind of this game saved my life, and then it's like, wait, this is fun. It was like, no, that game came out at a really dark point I played that game at a really dark point in my life, and I really do think it dragged me through that month and a bit that I played it. I absolutely adore it. The soundtrack is fantastic. I think that it's the best Persona soundtrack, especially if you incorporate Royal into it. I love Persona 3's soundtrack as well, but I don't think it has the number of bangers that Persona 5 has.
I think I'm in agreement.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love Persona 3's soundtrack. Color Your Night is fucking phenomenal. I still love that song to death.
The new one with I don't know what it's called, but it's like the takeover of Persona 3.
It's going down now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'll just occasionally burst out into Disturbing the Peace.
Disturbing
just in my head at some point in the past 3 months.
But like Beneath the Mask is like such an ambient song. I love it.
Dude, if you've never left Persona 5 running with Beneath the Mask playing,
you're a liar. You're a fake.
You played the game wrong. I'm straight up. You've played the game wrong.
I still think one of my favorite moments in video games ever, period, is when playing. I think it hits better in base P5. But when you're playing base P5 and you hear Beneath the Mask, because it's playing all the time, but it's not playing the lyrics version, it's just playing the instrumental, is when you finally get the day that you finally get actual freedom in moving about, is the day where they actually give you the lyrics. And I just remember when the lyrics hit for the first time, I'm like, fuck, like that was just like, that's a video game moment right there where I'm like, oh my god,
gaming,
just so fucking good. It's perfection. But But no, and if anybody ever wants to know my favorite song from Persona 5, I've said it, I think I've said it before on the podcast. It's the Sunset Bridge from the final day of Persona 5. It's also played in a lot of like social link stuff. It's played quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of the rap,
Mm.
but there's such a somber tone to it, and it's like it's my favorite song in any video game ever. I adore that song. I wish there was a longer loop of it because it's only like a 90-second song, and I'm like, damn, I wish it was longer. But no, I love that soundtrack. It's great.
Oh yeah, it's a
like-
huge soundtrack too.
Oh,
Massive.
and there's like
It's
hardly
3
any
discs. I have a
misses.
physical copy of it behind me. It's like it's right there on the
Yeah.
shelf. It's fantastic. Right then, final one, Harmony House, right? Dayglow.
Yeah.
I love Dayglow, dude. He's fantastic. He's like my new, like I say. This is when I say I don't get into music that often. This is what I mean, guys. Dayglow is like my newest kind of person that I've added to my Smash Bros lineup of music artists that I love, right? And this was like in 2020, 2021, again, COVID. Dayglow, if you don't know, is an American indie pop artist, I guess
snap.
I'd describe him.
I've never heard of him.
His name's Sloan. He's younger than us, which makes me fucking cry.
Oh, good for him.
1999, dude. That's also a fact that I've just found out right now, which makes me even sadder. Maybe I'll take him off the list after thinking about that.
Oh my god.
But he had
Must be this old to be on the list.
Yeah, dude, definitely. But he had this first album called Fuzzy Brain, which a lot of people liked. It was American, like a lot of people, I guess normies in America really liked this album, and I never heard of it. And I tried listening to it because there was a song called "Can I Call You Tonight," which I really like. It's a really great song, and I was like, this song's sick. I'm gonna go listen to the rest of the album. And you know when you listen to an album and you just do not vibe with it,
Yes.
Yeah, I've been there.
and
Yeah.
you're like, damn, that's crazy. So I was like, whatever, and then I'm gonna just move on. And then the second album came out, and I've just realized I meant the third album. Right, hear me out. We'll edit
Favorite
in
album,
post.
by the way.
We'll edit it in post. It's the third album. So, second album came out, and there's a song. This is where I found him out. This is where I found him. There's a song called "Close to You" by Dayglow, and if you've never listened to it, I'd absolutely recommend it. It's an absolute bop. I love it. It was like my favorite thing ever. If you don't know how my brain works, which if you haven't got to in the past 40 minutes, how my brain works, come on, get on board. Fucking hell. I attach to things and I never let them go. And this song was stuck in my head for about 6 months during COVID. And I was like, second year of COVID, by the way, not first year, second year, re-COVID. As the Mora
My
would call
favorite
it.
Kingdom Hearts game.
Re-COVID, yeah.
But anyway, this is what I meant to say. Close to You, one of my favorite songs ever. I'm like, this is such a jam. I love it. I relate to it so much. The lyrics just kind of hit me. Like, you know when something just hits you, it's just like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's basically talking about when you like somebody, but you just don't you don't want to fucking, you just don't want to mention it. You're just like, I'm just like, like the pain is like, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
What good is love without any strings is like one of my favorite lines. I'm like, I love that. It's great. But yeah, I loved it, and then I listened to the whole album, and I fucking hated it. Like, I love that one song, but I don't vibe with the rest of it. That's why it's funny that I put the wrong album on the fucking 3x3. When people see the 3x3 at the start, they'll see that I fixed it, but I'll leave it broken in the thumbnail just for you guys, just for the OGs. And then he released a third album. It came out in 2022, I think, or was it 2023? I think it was 2022. I'm gonna double check this. 2022, late 2022. And there's a song in it called "Then It All Goes Away," and it is my favorite pop song of all time. I think it's earworm inducing. I literally, the first night I heard it, I couldn't sleep the following night because it was stuck in my head all night. I genuinely could not sleep because it was just in my head. It just sat there, just rotting my brain all night, and it was fantastic. I loved it. And then the whole the whole album came out, and I loved it. And I was like, oh my god,
Nice.
this is the album. I love it. It's like one of my favorite
Redemption.
albums.
This is
Yeah,
the one.
this is the one, guys. This is it. There's a song called Second Nature, which is the first song on it, and it's like a 5-minute song or something like that. I adore it. It's fantastic. Like I say, Then It All Goes Away is probably my favorite. Not only my favorite Dayglow song, but one of my favorite pop songs of all time. Deep End is again another really long song. It's just so good. If you like indie pop music and you're looking for a more recent album, I can't recommend People in Motion enough. So much so I forgot that the album was that album and I chose the wrong fucking cover art because I'm genius. But legit, I think Harmony House is a better title for. I love the name Harmony House for an album. I love alliteration in album names. But yeah, People in Motion, fantastic album. I'd recommend it. It's great. And Then It All Goes Away. Absolute banger, dude. Absolute banger. I'd use it everywhere if I could without getting sued. It's fantastic. It's like my favorite thing ever. There we go. My 3x3 done. And if you're wondering why we don't do 3x3s as often, we're already 56 minutes in, and we've done one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kyle's
3x3s
turn.
are back, baby.
Kyle's turn. You're
All
going
right.
woo. I'm going boo because I have to edit this. And I have to go and fix what I just did wrong like an absolute goofball. Shall we get onto yours, Kyle? While I go and edit my 3x3 and post now so I don't forget? That'd be a good idea.
Yeah,
Let's
dude.
do that.
Lay it on me.
I'm ready for you.
That sucker.
Well, you're supposed to lay it on me.
Oh, no, dude. You tell me my 9 favorite albums.
Okay, number 1, it's... what do you know? It's Ethan's favorite albums. It's the same, because Ethan's such great taste. It's Harmony House by Dayglow.
Anyways.
Yep.
All right, so I've got Paramore, Brand New Eyes.
Yep.
Taylor Swift's Red album. Eminem, MMLP2.
Yep.
Post Malone, Beer Bongs and Bentleys.
Yep.
The Weekend, Starboy.
That is. I do want to say I love most of these albums. I think that is the most normie take today. I think that will be the most normie take today that we have.
Starboy?
Yeah, I think that'll be the most normie take.
You know, that's I see where you're coming from.
I vibe with it, but
it's
I
a great
also
album.
would assume like that is like the most normie take we'll have today, probably. Unless Hunter's gonna pull out a fucking Kanye album or something.
Yeah, that won't be happening.
Oh, trust me, I know. Anyway, carry on.
Next up, Drake's Take Care album, and then a couple of weird ones here. Rise of the Monarch by Amelie.
You fucking VTuber nerd.
That's me. I love VTubers. Mandatory Fun by Weird Al Yankovic.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
And then Stranger in Town by Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band.
Oh, nice.
You know, sometimes I feel like on this podcast a lot of the times, me and you two have very similar gaming opinions, right? You little accomplices in your little gaming shit, trying to preach this JRPG bullshit, right? All the time,
hey, dude,
like all that.
You can play a Devil May Cry game and join us.
Shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
But
they go on sale every week.
I'm good.
It's true.
But you're always very similar. But I feel like when it comes to music, then we're definitely more similar than we are to Hunter. That's definitely for sure.
I told you we
Yeah,
were
by far.
No, I don't. And just don't get me wrong.
I'll
There
say
are definitely...
this: Hunter recommended an album to me once because I asked for it.
Oh,
Like literally, I asked for it.
You asked for like 3 of them.
I actually really liked it.
Really?
Whatever
Which
he
one was
recommended
it?
to me, it was good. This was a
Because
couple of years ago at this
there-
point.
There was the Birthday Massacre was one of them.
Yeah, that's
Yours
it.
truly was another one, and I forget what the third one was. I might have put Slipknot in there just to be funny.
Birthday Massacre was good. I enjoyed listening.
Everyone
to
loves
that.
the Birthday Massacre. No one expects what they hear when they hear the name.
But yeah, Ethan, no, like I was telling you before we started, I mean, there is some overlap between our tastes in music. We both listen to pop radio, I feel.
Yeah. I feel like there's a big difference. I feel like obviously you've got Eminem on there,
Hmm.
you've got Post Malone, which aren't necessarily you got the weekend. You've got artists that I listen to odd songs where it's like I love odd songs from these artists, but I'm not sitting there totally vibing to them all the time, right? Like I'm not.
Yeah.
For example, I mean we can start with the weekend, not the weekend, with Post Malone, because
Oh,
there's a song that from that album that I hadn't heard until I was listening to your Spotify playlist on one night, which I absolutely
what?
adore. It's my favorite. Yeah, because I was listening to it with you at the same for some. You know when you used to be able to do that in
Oh
Discord, you could
yeah.
share people's Spotify's or
Oh
whatever.
yeah. When Discord
Oh,
was cool,
When
I
Discord was
remember
cool and not cringe
back
like it is
before the gaming
now.
companies got their hands on it.
that.
Yeah. Um, but no, the Candy Paint is on that
Oh,
album, and
mm,
it's like my favorite song of his. I absolutely adore that album. I think it's that
same.
song. I think it's fantastic. And you caught me onto that one, so thank you for that one.
You're
Um,
welcome.
but yeah,
But yeah,
why'd you
I
like that
mean,
album so much?
so this album came out when I was in college, and it was it came out like and towards the end of the spring semester 2018 of my that was my second year of college, and for like a week, 2 weeks, this was pretty much all I ever heard walking around campus. I'd just be walking like between from my dorm to my classes and all that, and then students would just be out on the quad just playing this album. I'd walk past pretty much every group of people, and they'd be playing it, and it's just like this weird sense of camaraderie,
Oh, that's okay.
where
You can
like
stay
we were
frozen.
all
It doesn't matter.
where like we were all just like on the same wavelength essentially. And as for the album itself, I mean, there's a lot of good songs on there. Um, Rockstar, Over Now, Psycho, Better Now, and Candy Paint. Like Ethan said, Candy Paint. It's tied for it's either my number one or number two favorite Post Malone song,
It's great. It's
t-
good.
tied with Circles off of the album that came after this one.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I just think it's a really solid album. I'll go back and listen to it quite a bit.
No, I like it. It's good. It's a good. It's a
Mm,
good. It's I like I say I like a lot of Post Malone songs. But again, it's like pick and choose kind of artist where it's like I
yeah,
take little bits
I
and
get
pieces,
that.
but I don't ever
He
listen
did a
to it.
song with Ozzy Osbourne one time. That
Yeah,
was all right.
that's one off of the Hollywood's Bleeding.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
his album after this one.
There you go.
That's a good one though.
Yeah.
What's next, boys?
Mandatory fun.
uh,
That sounds like a threat.
It kind of is.
it kind of is. No, this was one of his more recent albums. Came out in 2014, and it's probably one of the first ones that like I actually listened to all the way through, not just like getting song recommendations on YouTube for songs Ethan listed earlier, like eBay or Canadian Idiot or things like that.
Which is how I think people don't understand, right? Is when it
Hmm.
comes to stuff like Weird Al, when it comes to even stuff like, NSP or something like that, it's like someone like me in the UK finding stuff like that, it wasn't like Weird Al is in America, especially now, right? It's kind of like a cultural icon, right? Where it's like even if you
Yeah.
don't listen to his music, you know Weird Al. Whereas here in the UK,
Hmm.
it's just I found this really funny song on YouTube in 2007. This is wild.
Yeah.
Weird Al wasn't really that big of a thing here, especially to
Yeah.
people my age. When I first found him on YouTube at like 10 years old, like I didn't know who Weird Al was. I just knew that he made a funny Backstreet Boys cover for, but saying eBay instead of that way,
Yeah.
dude. Like, yeah,
But
but
even still, like Weird Al's the kind of artist you have to like go out of your way to look for
oh,
because you're
still,
never
yeah,
gonna hear
hundred
his
percent,
song on radio.
100%. But it's like if you did, like, I feel like the listening experience in the UK and the US is so different. Whereas like you guys will hear a lot of, stuff where Hunter will fucking shiver at the sight of any
Yeah.
song, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
for me it's a completely different set of songs where it's like I hear a song like Maroon 5's Moonlight Jagger, or like
Oh, that one is also
Tayo,
headbanger
yeah, or
inducing. Don't
like, yeah,
worry.
no, or Tayo Cruz's Dynamite. We can both be on the
Oh
same
my
page
God.
here because we both had overexposure to that. But when you guys say that you really hate Ain't It, like you really get Ain't It Fun gets on your nerves because you've heard it so much on the radio. Like Sam was always like, Ain't It Fun's always on the radio. I'm like, well, here in the UK, it was still into you. Ain't It Fun was never played, so to me, I love Ain't It Fun because it wasn't overplayed. Like, there's those
Still into
differences.
You was the one that annoyed me too, because my sister.
Hell yeah, high
Yeah.
five! We've both
High
got.
five. Even when I saw them at the Emo Vegas festival, I was like, I still don't like this one.
I had the same opinion, to be honest, where I was like, oh no, you're playing this, and then they played Ain't It Fun. I was like, well, at least they played Ain't It Fun. But yeah, I feel like there's that difference, right? Where it's like some things get overplayed, some things get oversaturated to different markets or whatever have you. So it's like, to me, I'd love a world where Weird Al was just played. So like that'd be better than a lot of the shit that I have to listen to. It'd be fantastic. But no, I love Weird Al. He's
He's really good.
He's such a character, and he does it in such a respectful way. That's the thing, is he only works with, he only does songs that he gets approval of, and like he's even worked with some of the artists before on those parodies and stuff like that. He's a good guy, dude. He's a good guy.
And he's so creative too.
Oh yeah.
Like half the shit he comes up with, I'm like, how do you even think of something like this? Like, that's not this album. There's another song on a different album where one of the songs is just like a love song dedicated to his pancreas.
Yeah.
I'm like, my dude. How?
But that's what I like about, and I feel like comedy music is so hard because not only do you have to be a talented musician and a talented lyricist, right? But you also have to be funny.
And yeah, like, and you have to get people to listen to it multiple times.
Exactly. It's like some song can be funny for a first listen, but then you're never going to listen to it again. But it's like, yeah, again, come back to NSP, right? And that 9-minute long song, that space opera song, 6969 or whatever. I've heard that song 90, 100, 150, how many fucking times, just as a Spotify song, as a video, or whatever, to make something that is like so fucking engrossing, so like gets rooted in your brain, yet it's still funny on like the 100th listen, on the 150th listen, on the 1000th listen. Doesn't matter how many times you hear it, you still get amusement from it. Is really hard, and I feel like Weird Al is one of those few people who can actually do that and has consistently been doing it for decades at this point.
Honestly, yeah, I don't know how he does it, dude.
Neither do I. He's fantastic. He's great. Did you pick that one, Hunter?
Yes.
I mean, you talked about Brand New Eyes earlier. Did you have anything to add on Brand New Eyes that you didn't talk about earlier?
Honestly, no. You pretty much hit. Well, I think we pretty much hit on everything I would have said about it. One thing I will say though, where's the album? There it is. The Only Exception gets way too much hate.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a really good song, and I'm
People get
tired of pretending like it isn't.
People get angry because it was in Twilight, and that's literally the only reason. And I'm like,
those people can get bent.
Well, if you want to, if we're talking about Paramore hot takes though, do you want a Paramore hot take? I can have a Paramore.
Hell yeah,
hot
dude!
Take
Lay it on me.
My Paramore hot take is they made. Some people don't know this. Is they made a couple of songs a couple of songs were for Twilight, right? You had Decode, you had Brand New Eyes, but you also had a song called I Caught Myself, which was made just for the movie. It's not actually in any of their albums. It is just as its own standalone thing. Fucking fantastic song. It is basically the secret song to Brand New Eyes, like an additional bonus song to Brand New Eyes because it's from the same era. And
you'd be like, how you get
controversial opinion. I think it's I think it's better than The Only Exception, dude. I adore. I Caught Myself. It's fantastic. It is it's still in their emo kind of phase of Paramore where it's still heavily more rock than it is pop. But I love it. It's so good. Highly recommend it. The Paramore Twilight stuff gets too much hate. They're all fantastic. They're all great songs.
Does,
there's a reason
dude.
it is. There's a reason.
I mean, and nowadays you can parse those songs from Twilight.
As someone who
Twilight's not relevant anymore.
As someone who doesn't like Twilight, as someone whose only experience is watching the third Twilight, whatever that was called. I was forced to go at school.
The third one?
Yeah, I was forced to go with school. They were like, you've been you've been really good this year. They used to do like a thing where it was like all the
So
people who
you
weren't
got Twilight.
all the people who weren't little shits were basically got to go on a trip or whatever. And we used to go to like theme parks
Yeah.
or go to the cinema and stuff like that, right? And it was like, we're gonna go to the cinema to watch the final Harry Potter film, and everyone was like, woo. And then we got there, and they were like, psych, you're gonna go and watch the third Twilight, and all the guys just wanted, in their own like, you know, in the cliched way that you'd assume a guy would, like a teenager would at that time, go, no, I don't want to watch Twilight. And I fell asleep. That's the true story. Is I fell asleep halfway through. I woke up to some werewolves and vampires trying to attack each other, and then I heard Paramore at the end. And I was like, okay, cool. That was a great experience at the cinema. But no,
I've watched the first Twilight movie, and I couldn't tell you anything about it.
I just know the third
And
one's
I
called
wa-
Eclipse.
and I
'cause
watched
had
it
to watch
fairly recently too,
Yeah.
like 6 years ago.
What? Why?
College movie night with college friends.
Hmm.
Look, it was someone else's turn to pick, and they picked Twilight. None of us wanted it, but we watched it anyways.
That's
Fair
funny.
enough.
But yeah, separate it, man. But no, good album. I love
Yeah.
Brand New Eyes. It's fantastic.
Great album.
Should we talk
I don't
about
think it's
T
their
Swift?
best.
Do you want to talk about Red?
Yeah, I can do that.
Go on then.
Where's the album list? There it is. So
Tell
you've
me you
brought
don't
this
know it
up,
off by heart, Kyle. Oh my
Hmm.
god,
dude. This album's like 40 songs.
bro! I
It's
can't
a
talk.
big
I
one.
literally got the wrong album like 10 minutes ago. I can't talk. I literally was like, wow, I chose poorly. I had a 1 and 2 shot, and I somehow picked the wrong one. I should have checked that track list beforehand.
Hey, happens to the best of us. But no, like you were saying earlier, with like not really liking the singles off this album, I think are probably the worst part of it. Songs
Mhm.
like 22, I Knew You Were Trouble, and We Are Never Getting Back Together. I think those are some of the
Yeah,
worst.
it's a
but
shame Hunter
I think-
decided the sound of those
Oh, yeah,
songs
he would've
evaporated
cringed
Hunter
to
from
all of those.
existence. But it's a
Yeah.
shame that Hunter's not here to hear that, because I also this would be another high five moment for me and Hunter, because this album, the singles that I heard, and again I wasn't really into Taylor Swift that much at this point.
Yeah.
Those songs were like, we were at that age where girls in our classes were really into Taylor Swift, so people wouldn't shut up about those songs, and I just hated them. Like, I despised them
Oh,
because
yeah.
of their popularity.
Like,
That's
they
fine, I think.
definitely don't showcase her best work, but the rest of the album, I think, is all fantastic, with songs like The Last Time, Holy Ground, Starlight, Begin Again. Dude, Begin Again is a absolute fantastic song. That's a
Mhm.
great finale song,
Mhm.
even though it's not the end of the album anymore. But you get the point. There's just a lot of great songs off this album. I think it's probably, like I was saying earlier, it's definitely in her top 3. For me, it's top 1.
Yeah.
But it's just an easy listen.
No,
There's
that's
a ton
fair.
of great songs on here.
And Hunter just
And
lost,
again, it's like a million songs long, so you're gonna find something you like in there.
yeah, unless you listen to the singles and you'll hate yourself.
Yeah.
You're all good, Hunter. You
Welcome
probably just
back.
missed an extra year of therapy, so you're all good. I think if
Yeah,
Kyle had
it's
mentioned the
alright.
single names, I feel like you would have gone through like war flashbacks, because I did.
Probably.
The screaming goat.
Yeah. Oh
Screaming
no,
goat.
save me! I don't want to hear 22 again ever for the rest of my life.
Bro, I don't know what it's like to feel 22. I turned 22 during COVID.
Did you? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was our COVID year, wasn't it? I was in
It
America
was.
when I turned 22, so I was able to do a funny meme, which was now deleted off the internet, unfortunately. I wish I still had it. It was on my old
Aw,
phone.
Boo.
Up there with, I think the LaCroix one still exists. I think the LaCroix one still exists. Well, just a video of me drinking LaCroix for the first time, and then my genuine reaction was, it tastes like piss, as I spat it out. Like, it wasn't scripted. I was supposed to be just like, it's alright, or it's overrated. I literally
Of course
spit
the
it out
people in San
instantly. I'm like,
Francisco like it.
yeah, I'm like, oh god, that's grim, disgusting. Almost as bad as the singles on Red. Am I right, guys? Ha ha ha! Got it.
Yeah, high five.
Yeah. We hate Taylor Swift. I lied. It wasn't on my 3x3. If
No
you
one
skip to
clip
this
that out of
part, yeah,
context.
fuck you. Taylor Swift sucks. Hunter, you missed Brand New
let's
Eyes and
go.
Red, so
I was here for Brand New
How were
Eyes. It was
you?
just
I just
2
saw you
minutes long.
evaporated at one point,
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh, man's gone. He's had enough
that was
of the
just a short
basic
segment.
takes." Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go with Bob Seger. My parents
Oh,
like Bob Seger.
baby. I I
Kyle is your
also
parent. Surprise.
hello, Hunter. I'm your father. Um, no, yeah, I also owe my love of Bob Seger to specifically my dad.
Mm.
Yeah.
This is when we go on car rides. This was like Bob Seger was always the go-to from his list of CDs. And no particular reason why I picked this album. It's just it's his whole discography that I really love. I love how he does storytelling through song,
Yeah.
and every song just feels like it tackles a different topic that could always be relatable to someone at any point in their life. And Stranger in Town, it's it just has a lot of the songs of his that I really like. Songs like Hollywood Nights, Still the Same, Old Time Rock and Roll. It's a short album, just under 40 minutes, because back then,
Back the way it used to
back
be.
in the old days of records, they
Good
didn't
old
hold as much
3-minute
space.
songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you really had to make all that space work.
I feel like
And
everybody has
honestly,
that
I think he
story,
really
yeah.
succeeds here because every song feels like it belongs on the album.
Hell yeah.
It's 9 songs, but it feels like they all have a reason to be there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And I feel like everyone has that kind of,
Mhm.
album or music that your parents listen to that you just have via osmosis just absorbed into your personality or whatever, where it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Growing up for me, I listened to a lot of classic rock from my parents, but I've largely moved out of that. Like, I don't really go out of my way to listen to anything like Queen or the Beatles anymore,
I hate the
just because
Beatles.
I've
My parents
just
ingrained that
because
in me. The hatred of the Beatles was something that was passed down for
oh
generations.
shit.
Both my parents
Yeah.
don't like the Beatles. I can't wait to
Wow.
watch
God, I
the
think
new
that's like a
episode of Doctor
national
Who in a
crime
couple of
over
months
there. Don't
about
admit to it.
Oh, the best part is I can't wait to watch an episode about the Beatles of Doctor Who that's in this new season with my parents. I'm sure that's going to go great. The one comment is just going to be,
But
fucking hate the Beatles. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
but like Beatles and Queen are just like two bands that I've heard way too much. I've just gotten tired of them.
Queen
Like,
I vibe with. I vibe
I'll
with Queen.
listen to
Oh
them
yeah, Queen.
if
We Are
they
the
come
Champions can
on.
suck it though.
Yeah, if they come on, I'll be like, yeah, if I can deal with this. Like, if it comes on naturally, I'll listen to it, but it's not something I would ever go out of my way to listen to anymore.
Dude, I'm the
But
same way with that stuff. But it's like my
mm,
parents, when I was saying my mum especially was, I don't know if she was a huge fan, but she liked ABBA a lot. So it's like whenever I hear
oh
ABBA a
god,
lot, I'm like,
Eh,
I vibe with. Well, also you gotta remember,
I-
guys, theater kid, liked musicals, so like Mamma Mia and stuff like that. I'm just like, even though I find it the most cringe thing ever, I kind of vibe with Dancing Queen and shit like that. I can vibe with that. I can vibe. Don't go out of my way to listen to it ever in my life, but if it ever came on, I'm like, I'm not opposed to this. I feel like I've inherited this again. It's like a gene where I don't hate
yeah.
ABBA. I have the hate the Beatles gene, but not the hate the ABBA gene.
Yeah. The one from my dad that I got was no one would expect this looking at me, but Jimmy Buffett.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's another one.
Damn,
Yeah.
bro. Are you telling me for the
And it's
HGO
like-
meetup we gotta go to Margaritaville? Is that what we gotta do,
Oh,
dude? We
hell
gotta-
yeah.
Oh, I would be down.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like it's very hard to hate. All of his music makes me think of the beach. I like the beach.
Oh,
Dude,
dude,
a lot
yeah.
of his music is a big vibe.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Oh.
And there's stuff that my parents don't like that I like listening to. Like my parents weren't huge fans of 80s music, but I really love like 80s music. If we were like doing singles or whatever, that cause like a lot of
baby.
80s stuff. I don't listen to 80s albums, but I listen to like 80s songs, like Frankie Goes to Hollywood or like
Yeah.
We Built This City, dude, fucking banger.
Oh.
I absolutely adore that song. There's so many. I could literally I could go into my playlist and just find 6 million 80 songs that I just absolutely adore that my parents did not pass down, dude, at all. Love Shack, dude. Just like so many songs. Like,
Oh, Love Shack.
I fucking love Shack,
Hell yeah.
dude.
Dude, the B-52s are good.
Dude, I'm now mad because I thought of another song that I wanted to bring up in this, like just talk about, but I can't remember now what it was. Keep going. I'll just scream it if I remember it again during anyone's segment. I'm just gonna scream it and everyone knows. Okay. But no.
And then I'll just capping off this Bob Seger segment. This
Mhm.
is also the one concert that I've been to before
Oh,
COVID
nice.
hit. October 2019, my dad and I went down to the TD Garden in Boston to go see his farewell tour. It was a good show,
Yeah.
really good show, and I'm really glad I got to see that before the big C hit.
The big C, Colin, dude. Fuck you, Colin. Ruining my
Yeah,
2020.
frick off, Colin.
Also, the song was technically a 70s song, so we won't allow it. But it was Boston More Than a Feeling. Fucking banger song. And it's
Oh shit, dude,
1976,
that's a good
but it's
one.
an absolute banger.
That's one of the ones
I
that
love
was
like
always on like
yeah
you know the commercials that would be on like late at night
yeah
where it'd
yeah
be
yeah
appealing to your parents
yeah.
Yep.
and the compilation CDs. I feel like More Than a Feeling was one that was always used on those.
Dude, there's just certain eras of songs
Iconic,
that I just
dude.
adore, you know. I also love 80s, 90s city pop as well. If we could put singles on there, like Japanese city pop, fucking
Oh
just an
yeah.
era of music where it's just like, damn, that shit just stay with me, dude, and stuff like that. It just hits so fucking good, dude. It's so good. But alas, like again, one and done, dude. Don't listen to albums. Don't listen to city pop albums in my free time. But no, it's always good.
Sometimes the singles are all you need.
Sometimes it is. Let's talk about. You've got a couple of, like I say, stuff where your stuff differs. Is stuff like
Yeah,
Eminem,
with the rap.
the rap.
Yeah.
I'm not a big rap fan. Unless it's Lotus Tunes, I'm not a big rap fan. Unless it's time to shine and I'm down
Disturbing
to
the
ride, dude.
peace.
It's not my yeah. I don't know what it is about rap. I just never really vibed with it. I don't know why.
No,
Like I
it's
respect
definitely
it.
an acquired taste.
As someone who speaks too quickly for their own good sometimes, I respect it. I respect the grind.
Mhm.
But it just, yeah. Why do you like Eminem? No, can't even say his name properly. Why do you like Eminem? Oh, fuck. Whatever his name is. Eminem. There we go. Why do you like Eminem so much?
So Eminem, he's very similar to Final Fantasy in the sense that whichever one you grew up
Gongaga.
listening to is probably going to be your favorite one.
Fair.
And Marshall Mathers LP2 is the one that came out when I was in high school, when I was an angry high schooler in 2013.
You were an
So,
angry high school in 2013. Okay, I was a
dude,
sad high schooler in 2013.
and that's where we differ.
Yeah.
But no, it's just a case of I just really enjoyed listening to this album growing up. It stuck with me, and truly, honestly, I'd probably call it his last really good album.
Hmm.
Because after this it was Revival, which came out in 2017. It was a not great album, I'm gonna be honest. I really overhated it when it came out, but now I'm just kind of indifferent towards it.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just like a boring think
That's how
piece
it goes when
album.
you get something later that's worse.
Yeah. It was just like a really boring think piece album that came out after the 2016 US elections that everyone seemed to
Oh.
do when music was just going down to Sadville. And I'm like, man, I don't need this right now. I don't need to think about the world being shitty.
Oh, but Sadville's great. Sadville's
Mm.
great at times. It depends what Sadville is, right? I don't give a shit about the presidential election or whatever. Like I don't want a song about that. But it's like I say, my favorite Paramore song of all time, When It Rains. Probably
Yeah.
the most depressing Paramore song there is, as it's
Oh,
about
yeah.
suicide. But again, if it's a banger, it's a banger, dude. I love that shit.
Yeah.
It's always good to go to sad place. Just never
Unfortunately,
about
Revival
politics.
did not have bangers.
Especially, yeah, just not during the 2016 electoral cycle.
Yeah.
Or, as I might add, not during the 2024 electoral cycle either. There will be some that will happen this year. Don't listen.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
But no, MMLP2, it's just one I'll always go back to. It's a very comfort album. A lot of good songs on here. And even the singles, I don't even mind. The Monster was one, that was him and Rihanna that played on the radio quite a bit. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember this is gonna be a stupid story, but I'm gonna tell it anyways. I remember after I got my wisdom teeth pulled in my junior year of high school.
You
This was
got your
like
wisdom
20.
teeth pulled? Fucking, oh, bad
This
evolution,
was
bro. Bad evolution. Mine grew in fine. What the fuck? Fucking beta
dude,
looking
mine grew in
ass.
fine too.
An
I'm gonna
Englishman claiming that their teeth grew in fine in any capacity is a stretch.
I had braces. I can't talk. I genuinely can't. All of my teeth
I
grew in
also
wrong
had
except
braces.
all of them grew in wrong except the wisdom teeth, which I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll take that. That's a W right there. I didn't have to have another 4 teeth pulled. I already had 4
Oh.
teeth pulled prior. It's good. We're fine.
No, dude, my wisdom teeth grew in fine. It's just my mom wanted me to get them pulled,
What?
so
That's fucked.
I had to.
That's
You
I don't
fucked.
fucking
suffer.
I don't fucking know,
What the
dude.
fuck?
So anyways, after the teeth pulling, I'm still slightly on the anesthetics. I'm sitting in the car. We're at a stopped at a light, and the monster came on, and I'm like, oh no, leave this. I love this song. It's so good. And really, that was the only thing I remember about that day.
Well, there you go then.
Nice.
Other than that,
Other than that,
no, it's just a solid album. It's long too. Holy shit! I never actually looked at the runtime for it. It's an hour and 42.
no, fuck that.
Holy shit!
Bro, that's a
Holy
film.
shit, dude!
That's a
That's a
fucking
film.
That's a film, dude. That's a film. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Which one do you want to talk about next, Hunter? All 3 of these, I know are eyeing you up like crazy. I know you're a massive fan of all
Alright.
3 of these.
Oh, well, I'm gonna go with Monarch.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
My man.
I like Amelie. Amelie's great.
She is great.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've heard I've heard a bit, like, bits and pieces. I haven't really heard any of her original work. Like, I heard, like, she used to do back in the day, like, a load of, like, covers of, like, anime songs or
Oh,
whatever.
she still
but with
does
English
covers.
lyrics and stuff like that. I remember hearing
Yeah,
one
She
for, like,
did the cover
Shield
of the Kim
Hero
Possible song.
and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
because her audience bullied her for the way she says "Shigo."
But I've never
She
really...
says it wrong, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's hilarious.
But no, I know Amelie Monarch is something that both of you have, you know, you've liked it, you like her, and it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, I've like VTubers, I'm pretty fat, like, I like quite a few VTubers, not in the sense of like, I don't get the culture of VTubers, like the weird little gremlins that like love them on the internet, right? But I'm like, as personalities, I'm like, most of the time, quite a lot of them are very funny. So it's like, I'll dip in and out or whatever. And I've seen a Monarch short here and there, and I'm like, ha 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 ha, move away, anime girl, next anime girl, like, just keep scrolling, whatever's
Are you
happening.
telling me you don't appreciate her classic from AI, the Somnium Files?
I haven't seen it. That's not come up. That's
Initiative?
not one. That one's not come up in my recommended, unfortunately.
No, I
but-
mean the song that's in the game that she
Oh, is
sang.
there?
It's
Didn't notice.
it's the I don't remember what that one's half of a whole or whatever.
bro,
They sing it like 500 times, like the Invincible Broken Arrow.
Oh, it's the
but
second game's
for-
one.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck that, bro.
Yeah.
That was shit. So was the first one, to be fair. So they did their job. But
But
problem with AI Somnifiles is it plays the same song 16 times. So if you liked it the first time, you'll hate it by the 16th. But no, I've experienced, like, I know her. I know of her. I have seen a
Yeah.
YouTube short of her here and there. I have heard an anime song of hers here and there.
I mean, she's been around the internet pretty much forever.
But
So
Ethan's favorite thing she did was voicing My Dress Up Darling, probably.
No, because I listen
Did
to
a
the
good job
sub.
on
I don't listen to dubs, do I, bitch?
Oh, right.
Damn, you
you're
missed
silly.
out.
I'm a sub simp, dude. I just heard arigato gozaimasu and went, there you go, that's my version over there, dude. That's my I said Nihongo.
So true, bestie.
I know she did voice Marin, right? I know that.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
again, I haven't heard her performances. Where's season 2, cowards? I'm still waiting. Still sitting on that
waiting.
one. But yeah. No, I like Amelie. I just never listen to her music, really. Same with most VTubers. I like VTubers' personalities, but when it comes to, like, idol culture and, like, that kind of music, the style that they go for, it doesn't really jam with me, dude. I'm not a big jammer for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
It's funny though, because like I never really listened to Amelie until this album came out, and I'm
Really?
like, this is fantastic. Yeah, no. Basically, for those unaware, Rise of the Monarch is basically an album that she made to give the whole lore of her VTuber character, the Monarch, and it's a short album, 8 songs. 7 if you discount the intro. Um,
Damn, it's
but
got an
it's
intro. Love that.
yeah,
Love
dude,
that.
it's got an intro that's like a minute long.
Pee pee poo
But
poo. That's the intro.
but it's just really cool. I like the lore that's being the story that's being told through all of this. How basically the monarch just starts at the bottom with nothing and then slowly rises
Now
up
she's
to
here.
get rises up to become basically this unstoppable, vengeful murder goddess, which like
A feeling that I definitely get from any time I see her VTuber clips.
yeah, like all those clips where she's struggling with technology.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
then I
know.
also want to give a shout out to another song she released later, another original song she released later called Devotion, which is basically just an add-on to the album. That's another good one. Yeah, it's just a solid album. It's a very easy listen. I've shown it to a lot of people who have no idea of who she is, and she's just like, and they enjoyed it. It's
Fair
very,
enough.
very
It's one
easy
of those
listen.
nerdy things that you could sneak into the socially acceptable playlist.
Yeah.
It depends what your friends are like, Hunter. I feel like if I did that with my friends, they would. One of them would look weird. One of them would look weirdly, and the other one would be a bit too into it, where I'd feel uncomfortable. So I feel like it'd be. But no. Where shall we go? Fine, we've got two here. The most normie Starboy album of all time. The most normie album. The most normie take. What is your normie take on the normie album, Carl?
My normie take is that this came out in college and it broke my computer when I listened to it.
So it's on your favorite.
Unironically.
Yeah, this cost me
Dude,
money,
it's a
bro.
fucking
Oh yeah,
great album. It's so good it broke my computer.
Damn, bro. That's
No,
crazy.
Starboy. Like, so this was a toss up between either Starboy or the album that came after this, After Hours. But the more I listen to it, Starboy, the more I'm just like, I really fucking love this song. Like I said, this came out my first year of college, first semester, first year, and there were many nights where I would just be listening to it on repeat while I'm finishing my work. Ethan had lo-fi, I had The Weekend.
Yeah, while Ethan was sitting there just vibing, you were like, "It's time for my normie hours," and then just
Oh
were like,
man,
"Hell yeah!"
Kyle doing homework on the weekend. Sad existence.
I've
Womp
ascended.
womp.
I have ascended. But yeah,
Ah,
I mean, it's a good album. I don't disagree. It's a good album.
yeah.
There's a reason why it's so well liked. I don't disagree. Again, though, it's one of those ones where I pick and choose. I've got like a couple that I'll listen to. Well, I say I'll listen to. Most of the time, it's on friends' playlists if they're in the car or whatever. I'm like, oh yes, that song that I think's all right. Cool story, bro. Cool story.
It's funny because like this was an album I started off like picking and choosing songs from it to put in the playlist. But the more I listened to it, the more songs I kept adding. So I'm like, fuck it. This I think this is my favorite album.
Hell yeah.
I think there's a reason why it's in the middle square on my box.
It's on the middle square. Oh, did you pick the middle square?
I put it in the middle square.
That's a big deal, guys. That's the big deal. The middle square is life.
It's
dude.
the
Everyone
free
knows this.
space.
It's the free
I
space.
think that's where I put the favorite one, dude. And then everything goes around it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Do you want to take it home with
Yeah. With Drake.
Drake?
So Drake
And Josh
is an artist. Drake as an artist has been around for forever, and his career is probably going to outlive me, to be honest. I feel like he'll be making music long after I'm dead, because he's never going to die at this rate.
That's a positive.
He puts out a new album every year, and I feel like every year the albums just get worse and more unlistenable, and also longer. Like,
yeah.
so, with all that out of the way, Take Care came out in 2011 before he really had his big takeoff. And it's just an album where everything on it works. It's a very, like, very chill album. It's a very easy listen.
Yeah.
I feel like I've said that for a lot of my albums, but it's always true. It's just, it doesn't overstay its welcome either. It is on the shorter end of his albums, especially more recently, where all of his albums are 9 hours long. And That's so good, dude. I'm just looking at the track list right now. Underground Kings is a great one. Take Care, the title track. Even how it starts, Over My Dead Body. It's real good. Headlines. A lot of good features on this too. The Weeknd, Rihanna, Kendrick Lamar, Nicki Minaj,
Mm.
Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne again. Ah, is that the third Lil Wayne song? Damn.
Oh my
I don't
god.
know. Here's the thing: is like I have so many friends that like Drake as like or
Mm,
liked Drake, should I say, as an artist, right? I feel like people put him in the camp of like Kanye as well, where it's like people like I've got friends who really liked Kanye's old work, and then now they're just
mm.
like, yeah, no, and I'm like, well, to be honest, mate,
That's
you probably should have come off the Kanye train 2 albums before you did, because like that's it, right? But it's like Drake to
Mm,
me has just been an artist that just never has clicked with me. Like people really like
yeah,
Drake, and I just
I
don't
get
like
that.
Drake. Um, and it's a shame.
I think I think for me, it's kind of like the Taylor Swift effect, where it's just overexposure. Where I've heard so many of his songs that I'm like, okay, he's not going anywhere. I just need to learn to like some of his songs.
Yeah, but I never did. I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
you should
spirit.
listen to Take Care.
maybe I
Maybe
will.
maybe that's where all the good songs were hiding.
Especially because all of Ethan's knowledge is like One Dance and like
Oh yeah,
God's Plan and stuff like that.
God's Plan. Yep.
Like it's the very basic of basic, and I'm like, it's fine. I don't get the hype that
Hmm.
much, but no, fair enough.
There's another album of his, More Life. That's another good one. I would have put it on here, but again, I only really like half the album.
Yeah.
But the half that I like is really good. If the album was not an hour and a half long, I think it probably would have been on here. But again, Take Care. It's just an album where everything works. Doesn't feel like there's any filler. It's a it's worth your time.
No, fair enough. Well then,
All
that's
right.
Kyle's list, everybody.
Now it's now it's time for the fun part.
Now it's time. Well, you might consider it the fun part. Some others might consider this education time, dude. It's time to learn. It's time to sit down and think, guys. It's time to think about Hunter's life choices and what led him to down this path of music. You ready, Hunter? You've been quiet long enough.
Yeah.
It's now time for you
By
to
all means.
tell us why we should care about your taste in music. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go for it then.
All right. So first we got
Oh, I know that
1X.
top album.
No, I'm glad you do.
I've seen that one before.
1X by 3 Days Grace, Comatose from Skillet, The Sufferer and the Witness by Rise Against, Black Anima from Lacuna Coil, Apex from Unleash the Archers, Helion Prime from Helion Prime, Afraid of Heights by Billy Talent, The Phantom Tomorrow by the Black Veil Brides, and The
Oh, I've
Primrose
heard
Path
them.
by Dream State.
I know two of them. Not the albums, the artists. I don't know any of the fucking albums, but I've heard two of the people. I'm pretty proud of that. I think we're good.
Job.
Thank you.
I think Hunter's got an Unleash the Archer shirt on.
I do, and
Hell
the
yeah!
album in question is behind me.
Oh snap! Look at
damn,
dude,
man.
it is.
There's a book.
I
Holy
just thought,
shit!
I'm not gonna lie. Has that been there for ages?
Yeah.
I honestly just thought that was concept art for like a fantasy video game or something that I just ignored
Same.
the whole time. I was like, oh, it's one of Hunter's game things that he likes. It's some Dragon Age
Same.
shite or something. You know what I mean? I was just like, yeah,
I've always associated it with Horizon, just because the first song they put out for the album came out around the time I played or started playing Horizon.
no. Well, there you go then.
And that's been our show.
That's the game, dude. That's the game. Where are we going, Hunter? Where are we going? Where do you want to start? I
You guys are the ones that pick.
Yeah,
Try
but
and
here's
sell
the
us
thing is,
on one of these albums.
if you had to, what's the entry point on this list? That's what I want to know.
What's
you
the
had to-
theme from least extreme to less extreme?
You know,
Well,
if
no,
I
I
was
wouldn't
like,
say that.
what's your Attack on Titan in terms of anime? You know what I mean? Like, if you're trying to get a normie into like anime, like, what's your Attack on?
It's probably the 3 Days Grace one, because the top three the top row there follows the theme of those were the ones that I chose when I was in middle school.
Yeah, bro, those look
So
scary, dude. Those look scary.
what?
Those ones look like, if we're using the anime thing, dude, we're just like, those ones look like the weird isekais with 20 million words in the name. You know what I mean, dude? Where it's like, I don't know what to do with that. But I'm scared.
Okay,
Fall
well,
Out Boy
I'll
album.
just start with 1X then. That's the 3 Days Grace album in the top left.
Okay.
That's where all of their best work is. Never Too Late is probably the song that if you've never heard 3 Days Grace, that's the one you've heard. On top of that, I like it because it's just a really deeply personal album from the writer and singer. You know, one of the guy got famous, struggled with drugs. This was the Rehab album. And, you know, a lot of that carries through in the subject matter there. Has a bunch of great tunes. Animal I Have Become.
That's the one I know.
Oh, that's the one you know?
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a great one.
I think it was in a Vine.
Oh, interesting.
Nah, dude, it's funny. The dude chugs a bottle of water and he's like, I can't talk. I'm making piss.
I see.
And then he just downs a bottle of water.
Yeah.
Ethan, I'll send it to you later.
Definitely
It's
haven't
really
seen
funny.
that, but I definitely want to see that. That's an Ethan thing. That is right there, dude. That's an Ethan thing. That's some brain rock type shit that I appreciate. I haven't heard the one that you said that I'd heard either. But I get the vibe. Like, I've heard the vibe. I've heard songs in that genre from that year. So I'm like, hell yeah, I vibe with this.
Yeah. But yeah, Animal I Have Become, Riot is a good one.
I like that album.
Yeah, this is this is by far their best work. And sadly, 3 Days the singer left 2 albums after this, and 3 Days Grace doesn't really have it anymore, unfortunately.
They not got the juice. No juice.
No, they do not have the juice.
Damn, bro.
Sadly. But this one will forever be one of the most important ones to me. Anyway.
Damn. Which one are we going to next? I'm not gonna lie, Kyle. We're just picking
I almost feel
off
like
pictures.
we should just go in order.
Yeah, we're just go in order, Hunter, because we're just gonna be picking pictures. I was just like, that one's funny because it's got the weird paper people. What's that guy on the second to the right done to get the cross, dude? What's he done? What's my homie done?
That is all right. So Skillet, Comatose. There, Skillet was the other band that was pretty much with 3 Days Grace, the first one that I chose. You know, aside from things I had heard just that other people put on, it was those two that I picked to actually like listen to in my own time. So that's what gets Skillet on here. There's a lot of things in the
Sorry, I just watched the Making Piss fight. It was very funny. Good song choice, Hunter. Good song choice. Good song choice. That was a good song, dude. That was a good song.
Yeah, I know. Anyway.
Hunter, I don't think you appreciate that. I don't think you appreciate that he was making piss. Okay, I don't think you appreciate that.
Probably not. Vines are stupid.
No, this one's funny.
I'll watch it later.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
this
don't
one has a
believe
lot
you.
of things.
Sorry.
Anyway, this has a lot of stuff that carried over into, even though Skillet's another band that I would describe as they don't got the juice anymore.
No juice.
man.
No juice left.
But
No sauce.
No sauce.
But the songs from this album are still pretty good, and it has a lot of things in it that carry over into my interests in music now. Like they were one of the first bands, like rock bands I would hear with like violins and cellos and stuff, and I love symphonic rock now. So you know, that's a nice carryover. They're one of the first bands I heard that had the 2 vocalists, one dude, one female, with the kind of dueling vocal styles.
Ooh.
And that's something that carried over into my interests later in life as well. So they don't have the juice anymore. Their past 2 albums have been startling and sad reminders of that. But you know, they play enough of the old stuff to make me see them in concert when they come around.
Fair enough.
What are some songs off of this that you'd recommend?
Anyone?
Whispers in the Dark is my favorite one by far. Comatose, the title track, is another good one. Falling in the Black is great. Rebirthing is another one. It just opens with a sick viol, or one of the 6-string solos. I don't remember specifically which instrument it comes
Yeah.
from anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm just listening to little bits. I'm muting my mic and listening to them on YouTube when I can. I feel like you're gonna fuck my recommended up after this, by the way.
Oh, yes. You love to hear
If
it.
you're listening in 2023, then you are a true king. Thank you. I am a true king, guys. You hear that? I'm a true king now. I'm a true king. I listened to Skillet in 2023. Oh shit, it's 2024. Am I not a king?
Oh, look at that. You missed the boat.
No!
Fake king.
Fake king. Damn, bro.
Ah,
I'll just have to take Queen instead. Feels bad.
yeah. All right, moving on to
band?
Rise. What did you say, Kyle?
No, go
Oh,
on.
okay. Moving on to Rise Against, I'm pleased to report that this is the band from middle school that I picked that still has the juice.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh
dude.
hell yeah.
Yeah,
The juice.
but this is my favorite one because I believe the story goes the first time I heard them, or at least knew it was them, was Prayer of the Refugee. It was in Guitar Hero 3. And I really liked that one.
Damn, bro.
So then
So
I went
close. It's
and
the only
inquired.
Guitar Hero out of the original 4 that I didn't play. So it's like so close.
Of course.
If it was in 1, 2, or World Tour Hunter, you would have had me there, but unfortunately.
One of their songs from the next album was in World Tour.
Oh, which one?
I'm aware. It was, which one was it? Re-Education Through Labor is what it was called.
To carry on, I'll do my research.
Yeah, but this one, so it was the first one I listened to. Prayer of the Refugee that I just mentioned is a favorite, and slowly over time I've just come to appreciate the whole thing. Every song is just a winner. You know, I just drew a blank on the rest of the names.
Does sound
But,
familiar.
you know.
Does sound familiar. I feel like I
Yeah.
did it in the background on a menu.
Yeah, but yeah, and Rise Against, very great live. I think that they do the work, which is appreciated. I saw them, I think it was 2022 was the last time I saw them, and they were fantastic.
Nice.
Bring fantastic, you're great energy.
Good vibes, guys.
Glad,
Pass the vibes.
glad to
man.
hear they got the sauce.
They got the
They
sauce.
do.
They got the juice, dude. They got the juice.
All right, so we've cleared the middle school days.
All right. Where
Now
I
we
can only
move
assume
on
this
to
is high school.
well, Lacuna Coil is. Everything after that is post graduation.
Damn, bro. Man's
but-
music taste is changing. That's cringe. All of
But-
mine was like pre-2020 on to get a fucking grip. Come on.
But hilariously enough, this album is also after I graduated. It's just Lacuna Coil was a band that when I discovered them, it was random clicks through YouTube, and I really liked them. Not like any specific album. This was the first one this was the second one they made after I had known who they were, and I just really enjoy it. All of the ones that they did to like promote it, like Layers of Time and Senseless or Reckless, I'm sorry. Really good in the lead up, and then they've got other ones that, you know, besides the singles that shred too. Beneficium is
Beneficium.
That is a word.
yeah.
Get
I'm
your
probably
thesaurus
saying it wrong
out.
because it's like I'm probably saying it wrong because it's probably like Italian or something, seeing as that's
What
their
do you,
country
what
of
do you mean? You're
origin.
saying it wrong. Venecisio. You just get the stereotypical accent out. There you go. Job's
No,
done.
I mean there's probably some other way to say it, but that
yeah,
one
you just put the
starts off-
accent on. Pretend you're in Assassin's Creed 2 Hunter. You can do it. I believe you.
Yeah. Well, that one starts off with like this awesome, like dramatic chorus, like as in like, you know, the Latin choir behind the main
Oh,
singer,
hell yeah.
and it's great. Oh, but yeah, and then Lacuna Coil, another one that is fantastic live. Probably second favorite band I've seen in concert.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna skip over Unleash the Archers. I'll leave that one to the end.
All right.
Dude, he's leaving the one that we know now. He's leaving the one that we fucking
It's
know.
the middle spot.
Yeah, it's the
dude.
free space.
Yeah, bro. Dude's like, look, here's the only one that you can actually maybe know. And he's like, I'm going to save that till the end. You got to sit through your fucking lesson first.
Well,
Yeah,
to be
anyway.
fair, we never even knew that was behind him this whole time. So
Okay, I'm
we can't
sorry.
say anything.
My glasses are
I'm
real,
saying
Kyle.
we.
My glasses are real. What's your excuse?
I don't want headaches.
Boo.
But anyway, Helion
Shut up,
Prime is
nerd.
important to the story too, because the first song I heard by them, The Suggestions, was what led me to Unleash the Archers. So,
Dude, this is a sick album art, dude.
with
It
the
is.
T-Rex and the
Yeah, dude, and
astronauts
the
shooting at it,
lasers,
yeah,
bro.
their album art shreds.
That's
But
sick, bro. The
but yeah, it's like
UFOs, dude,
this
that's
is
sick.
one of the ones that I can put like myself in the exact space and time that I heard it, which was like September, October 2016. I was listening to this and some of the other Unleash the Archers music that was out at the time.
Dude, I
Ah.
love when you can do that, like with music especially. I find that hard with games where I find it really hard to envision. Like I can remember playing it, but I can't really imagine being at
The
that exact
headspace.
moment playing it. You know what I mean? Like I remember memories. Whereas music, like I feel like that I can just it takes
Yeah.
me back straight away. Like I can remember where I was exactly.
Yeah. This is the first, this is like, I was listening to this the first time I had moved away from home. So, you know, it's one of the other things that I can attribute to the memory there. Yeah, great songs on there. Life Finds a Way is the one that I first heard, and it's probably my favorite. The Drake Equation is really cool. Moonwatcher is one of my favorites lyrically. I think it's fantastic. I saw
I love
them
how
in
the first thing that
concert.
came up with Life Finds a Way, by the way, was just Jurassic Park. That was the first thing that comes up, by the way.
Yeah. That's not shocking at all. But
Is it a
yeah,
remix? If not, I'm very
No.
disappointed. Boo.
no. But yeah, Helion Prime's great. This is one of those bands that goes through lineup switches every album cycle, but you know, their following ones have been cool too. My favorite part is that the artist behind it, one of the, I think the singer was also involved in like something more up my alley as far as what you would expect with like a goth metal band, and this is more of like a sci-fi thing. But
Yeah,
I liked this one more, humorously enough.
fair enough.
Yeah.
I
All
like
right.
to say the cover's pretty cool. That's my favorite, based on the
Yeah.
cover. I
Yeah,
like
it's
the
a-
I
it's
like
cool.
the very I like the very 70s kind of spacesuit designs and all that jazz. Like kind of it's very cool.
Yeah. It's like a.
The
It's like
lasers.
I'm sure it was inspired by like old sci-fi movies and
Oh,
whatnot.
100%. It reminds me of like a sci-fi novel from like the 1970s, dude. Like it's
Yeah.
Some L. Ron Hubbard.
Meanwhile, Billy Talent, dude, he's
He's afraid of heights.
No one in this band's name is Billy, and I've
So they're a
and
bunch
none of them are
frauds.
afraid of heights.
Yeah.
This is a
Probably
fraudulent
not.
album.
But you know, like the lead singer's name is Ian or something.
Oh, no,
I don't remember the rest
it.
of their
No
names,
wonder
but
they
I
changed
know.
it. No one wants to be called fucking
But-
Ian Talent, dude. Ian Talent.
But I know the rest of them are also not named Billy. I don't remember their names, but this one was fun because it was
A
between.
Canadian rock band.
They sure
Canada.
are.
Sorry, I'm on Wikipedia.
3 Days Grace is also from Canada. There's a lot of Canadian
Oh,
representation on this 3x3.
Canada.
Yeah. But I was between. This is fun because Billy Talent is a band that I listened to a couple of songs, just like literally like 2 of them since forever, and never inquired further. And then a couple years ago, I decided, all right, I want to know what these guys are about. I think Afraid of Heights, the title track, was in the Tony Hawk Pro Skater remake, and I really liked it. So I wanted to go and listen to. I just listened to their whole discography up to that point in this little adventure.
Fair enough.
And I was between their 3rd album, which was just called Billy Talent 3, and this one, as far as that goes. Yeah.
Sounds like a fucking SNES game, bro.
I know, right? Literally, the first 3 were Billy Talent 2, and Billy Talent 3. It was hilarious. But
Genesis looking ass. Jack, fuck off. Can't you see we're recording a very important music podcast?
But yeah.
I learned about Billy Talent in his SNES collection, dude. Fuck off.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just a really good album. I think that artistically, like all the artwork they got going with it looks like that old timey like 60s propaganda and stuff. I think that's
kind of gives me, I don't know why, it gives me like was it Cult of the Lamb vibes that had like the red and black and white kind of
I think
2D
so.
drawn like
Yeah.
posters and stuff they were doing? Not the artwork for the game itself, but like they had like posters that were in a very similar style when the game was launching.
Yeah.
It's a cool style.
And just,
I vibe with it.
Yeah, I think overall it just won out with Afraid of Heights is my favorite song by them, and the other ones around the album are really good too. One of my favorites, Ghost Ship of Cannibal Rats. Great title. Really great song too. Time Bomb Ticking Away is fantastic. There's a reprise of the title track at the end. Big Red Gun is great. Yeah. Just all real
Fair
solid
enough.
stuff there. All right.
Yeah, what's this horror looking ass, dude? Who's this fucking...
Who's this Resident Evil character?
Yeah, why is Mr.
Oh,
X
that
on
is
a cover?
That guy is Blackbird. This is a concept album. The Phantom Tomorrow is. So there's a whole lot of lore and stuff behind the idea here. Black Veil Brides is hilarious because similar to Billy Talent, I'd heard a couple of their songs throughout my life and never inquired further. I specifically remember having a classmate that adored them, and they just always lived linked in my memory together as the person who liked the Black Veil Brides, and the Black Veil Brides was the band that they liked. It was funny. But eventually, in late 2020, they put out the first song for the album. It was called Scarlet Cross, and I'm like, oh, this is really good. And I just kept listening to it over and over again, and then they put out the next one. The next song for the album, and I was like, "Oh, this is really good too." I'm listening to this when it comes out, and on the way to that, I went and listened to the rest of their material as well. The Black Veil Brides discography was the soundtrack to the Mario Golf game for me.
That was a crazy collaboration, but
Yeah, and then
times are tough for
it was
Mario
fun
sports.
too because I was sharing the songs as they came out with my friends, so it was like a fun little experience in the wind up to oh yeah, I can't wait to listen to this when we get to it kind of thing. And all of the whole lead up was fun. I really appreciate the lost my train of thought, whatever.
Really appreciate the music in the album. It was a very musical
obviously
album.
I liked the approach that they took because the Unleash the Archers album, also a concept album, but they go about it different ways, where this one's like, oh, this is just not what happens in the story. It's kind of like the general themes of the story, and you make up what happens to fit them kind of thing. And I think that's neat. It's a cool way to go about it. But yeah, songs that I recommend. Scarlet Cross was really good. It's what finally got me to pull the trigger on listening to them. Crimson Skies is my favorite one. That's just all around great one. It's got a cool animated video to go with it when they put it out. It was good. Kill the Hero is really cool. Field of Bones is great too. Yeah.
Well, there you go. And then finally, well, not finally, penultimately, because we forgot about the middle space, free space, favorite space.
Yeah. Dream State, The Primrose Path. This one is neat. Dream State, the singer, she has one of the most like vocally or emotionally raw voices when she sings that I've ever heard. It's one of those ones where it's like, oh man, I feel everything you're putting down here every time. And it was fun because this was one of those ones like 2 or 3 years prior to this album coming out, I heard one of their songs on YouTube and really liked it, and then never heard anything from them again. So I was worried that like they just disbanded.
The one and done.
And then this had come out, and I'm like, oh, sick, rad. And yeah, I really like this because to go along with her like very emotionally charged voice, a lot of the material here is really emotionally challenging in a way that's like, it's not just like sad, it's like sad in a way that's goes beyond relationship over kind of thing. It's like rather than a romantically interested relationship, it's like, oh, this person that you've known for your whole life and has been important to you being who you are isn't good for you to be around anymore kind of thing. And that's kind of the vibe of a lot of the songs on the album, and I think it's really cool that way.
Yeah, I kind of
But yeah.
fuck with this. Not gonna lie. I'm just listening to a
Oh
couple.
yeah, yeah,
I kind of fuck with this. I
yeah.
kind of fuck with
Some of my favorites. 20 Letters is really good. Hand in Hand is great. What's the one? I Feel It Too is fantastic. Spitting Lies
I
is
just
another
that.
one
Yeah,
that's
Splitting
really
Lies
good.
is one I just
Yeah,
listened to.
Spitting Lies is rad.
Yeah. I vibe with it. I vibe with it.
I love it when I love it when a song will come in with my favorite part is one of the parts that you wouldn't really expect, like not the chorus or anything. It's like the beginning line of the second verse on Spitting Lies that I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the good one.
Dude, I have like 6 million of them. Like, I love, like, I don't know why my brain likes picking out little like lines from songs. Like, it's just like, that's the line, like that's the bit there, that's the source. And it should never be in the
Yeah.
chorus. If it's in the chorus, then you fucking failed. Dude. That's you failed. Dude. If it's not in the verse, you failed. But
All
no,
right.
I vibe with that. Right,
And
Unleash the
lastly-
Archers. Let's get it over. Oh, we've
All
ran
right.
out of
The
time. What a shame. Should have saved a special spot.
The show has a time limit?
Yeah, 2
Since
hours.
when?
Bye. Get out of my house.
But
Oh
yeah,
no.
Unleash the Archers has become my favorite band in the 8 or so years it's been since I started listening to them. This was the first album they put out after I started listening to them, so I had like 2 other albums worth of material to jam to with the Helion Prime album in there. But this was the first one after that. It was kind of between that one and their next one was during COVID, so that was another emotionally important one, being like, oh, this is the cool thing I'm looking forward to this year. Kind of thing. But this one was great. Another concept album, really sweet, like this immortal man always bound to whoever wakes him up kind of story. Goes off to kill this evil witch's 4 sons for a ritual. It's good stuff. Yeah, this isn't an album back here. This is like a book with the lore in it and stuff.
Oh my god.
Like, it gets super nerdy.
I like
Lore
how
and
you have the
pictures, anyway.
Zelda thing behind it, as if you go, fuck off, Zelda, this is my lore.
Well, the Zelda thing is, that's just the Twilight Princess guide.
Oh, fuck that off.
So,
that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one likes Twilight Princess.
No one likes that.
But yeah, but in general, Unleash the Archers has like become my favorite band over time, just because, they're one of those ones that listening to them inspires a feeling of like, not a violence in the way that Slipknot makes you want to punch something, but like the gif of Jon Snow drawing his sword against the army that's charging him on horseback.
Oh yeah.
Makes you feel like you can do anything. I love it.
And they are also Canadian.
Yes, they are. Canada's greatest export. Suck it, maple syrup.
Well, there we go.
But yeah, songs as far as that's concerned. Awakening is great. Apex, the title track, one of my favorites that they've done. Call Me Immortal is really cool. The Coward's Way is one that's underrated. But yeah.
No? Fair enough. And there we go, I guess. All 9 of Hunters. We've been on a little education spree here, Kyle. We have educated ourselves on
Correct.
the world of rock and all that rocks in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. My favorite.
I think I'll try and check some of these out.
Yeah,
a lot of them probably are easy listens.
If you had like a top 3 that you'd recommend us.
Specifically us, not the normies that have got to this point. Fuck them off. Us.
Well, Ethan was liking Dream State, so
no, you fucking. I shouldn't have said shy. I shouldn't have said it.
I would have recommended that anyway because they're really sad, and so are you. But
you bastard! Wow. Okay. Excuse me. Only I'm allowed to call out my mental illness, not you.
Anyway, I think you would appreciate that album quite a bit. The 3 Days Grace one is an easy listen, and I feel like it is worth listening to. I'd probably say the Black Veil Brides one for either of you. I'm over here like checking through the ones at the or on the other 2 rows here, being like, is there anything that's too scary? Yeah.
I know we're making you choose your favorite children right now, but
I mean, I'd recommend the Unleash the Archers album to anybody.
Yeah.
But,
Well, you can fuck off with that comment, and you can fuck off as far as I'm concerned. I'm now making it my life's mission to never listen to them. That's my fucking goal.
That's all right.
I think they'll be fine without you, Ethan.
Nah, no one's fine without me.
I mean, fair.
Life without me, damn, bro, that's a life not worth living. Remember to subscribe to this HGO podcast on your favorite podcast service. But no, there you go. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You now know more than your parasocial relationship has grown even bigger now. You know more about us
Woo!
than you care to admit. And if you liked this, be sure to let us know. Maybe we'll do more. Maybe we'll talk about TV shows or movies or something else.
Yeah,
movies would be
My
interesting
favorite
because you'd see how
classical
little I watch
pieces.
movies.
Yeah, same.
there aren't a whole lot more than 9 movies that speak to me on a level that would be worth
But you know,
putting on one of these.
it's something. Probably have 9 movies that would probably speak to me.
I would probably struggle to come up with 9.
Well, you gotta get on, then Kyle. You gotta get on it. You gotta get ready for the next arbitrary HGO detour when we run out of video games because it's 2024, guys. We're gonna run out.
Yeah.
Or TV shows. You've got to watch more than 9 TV shows. I'd struggle.
Not
but
certainly.
TV shows might be easier. We'll see. Let us know if you like this, though. We'll do more, I'm sure. It was fun. It's a good time. And you can clearly
I had
see.
to switch it up after 4 years.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I like music. Now to never listen to any ever again. I've done the homework. We're done. Top 9 podcasts. Well, top 1 is the HGO podcast, guys. You know, that's the best one.
That's true.
It's being
Three by
everyone's
three
middle
of our
spot, right,
favorite
guys? It'd be in
HGO
everyone's middle spot.
Exactly.
I'll link to my screen right now. Next week, who knows what we're doing? We're just vibing, we're just jiving as we're waiting for games to come out. There's some games coming out in this month, right?
Yeah.
It's April.
Stellar
Stellar
Blade.
Blade.
Another
Stellar Blade's been getting a bit of
treasure.
noise, I've
That's
noticed.
this month?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the end
there's
of
a
April.
demo that came out that people are jamming with.
Hell yeah.
But unfortunately, it comes out the day after another Crab's Treasure.
Oh,
Yeah,
what a shame.
I'm gonna have to juggle it to.
So unfortunately,
Like,
it's going out to die.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
2 Hunter games are
sadly.
coming out at the same time. What will ever happen in this predicament? Find out on the
There's
HGO
only
podcast.
there's only one Hunter.
There's only
It's
one
true.
Hunter. 0 Kyles to give and 0 Ethans to give. But yeah, next week we'll have something fun. Probably to do with video games. Unless this one blows up and then we're a music podcast going forward, baby. Let's go. But yeah. I'm just going to wrap it up here, I think. I think we've gone on long enough. You don't need a spiel. We're all good. Thank you
Yeah.
ever so much for listening this week, guys. We'll see what happens next week. Same time, same place. Until then, though, have an awesome week. And yeah, we'll see you in a bit. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.